Hello. 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 It seems to be working. Time to tweet it out. What is up, everybody? What is up? I'm tweeting this out right now. Finishing the Arcadum allegations. This is the beginning of the stream. Gonna cut this out of the VOD. We're just gonna chat for maybe like 3 to 5 minutes. Before we start, what is your Snapchat? I don't have a Snapchat. But how is everybody doing today, this afternoon? I'm doing pretty good. You were still on part 2. Yeah, holy shit, didn't even finish part 2 yet. I didn't know you guys would go back and watch the previous parts. This is awesome. Not so awesome for the people involved in this situation, of course, but you know how it is. First Bo Black stream, hell yeah, hell yeah. Please sleep. I did sleep. It's been like 12 hours since my last stream, or more than that, so we are going to be finishing up these allegations to give you guys a bit of a rundown on what happened. Love your voice, thank you. This guy Arcadum, he is a D&D Twitch streamer, and he just got exposed because there has been... Ooh. Let me share the screen. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's also some more, but there's over 10 different twitlongers, and all of these twitlongers are long. I went through the first 4 last night, and it took 5 hours. Are you going to edit these streams up? I was thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure, just because of how long it is. There's also people reacting to the situation, so I might do Twitter versus. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this whole thing. All I know is that I'm going to read everything out, and then we'll figure out what to do afterwards. But yeah, I'm just kind of committed to documenting all of this. Last time we went over Kelly's story, Momo's story, Summer's story, and Naomi's story. Today we're going to start off with Reds and then go down, and then there's some more that we're going to look at. To give you a bit of a refresher on what this guy is like, if you guys are just coming here, you don't really need to... It would be nice to watch the previous parts, but you don't really need to, as the story's kind of being retold from different perspectives as we go along. So you'll have like enough context, I think, just watching the stream. But there was some funny bits last night, and there was one in particular that I posted onto Twitter that I want you guys to take a listen to in order to figure out what's going on. Maybe just make a summary video, maybe. We'll figure it out later. But yeah, here is what Arcadum said to Naomi in a call.
It is actually, I believe it is 17.8% of the people that I run D&D for will continue to be my friends once the game is done. I have that number for you. I have made that calculation. I have made that calculation 4 separate occasions. The evidence is empirical. So, sorry, but that statement that do you think they'll stop being your friends is actually yes, as much as you might not like it to be. We don't live in a world of what we'd like to be. We live in a world of realities, and that's the reality of it, is that 17.8% of you will not talk to me again.
Wait, 17.
Excuse me, will continue to be my friend. I believe it is 48% of you won't talk to me ever again.
Wait, what about the other percent?
Passing messages, not a real friendship. Now, those numbers are probably going to be more bloated onto the passivity due to my position as a streamer. I haven't done the recalculations based off of that yet, but I can tell you unequivocally that the use of D&D in order to make friends has a 17.8% retention rate. That's the tragedy that I live. 17.8%.
Okay. Well, have you
But
thought,
anyway.
thought about why though? Because like,
Oh, no, of course I have, Naomi. Please. Yes, I have. I have augmented behaviors. I have done experiments to determine why. I have tried to pick different ethnicities. I've tried to do different gender counts. I've done everything that was within my power to experiment, and that number has remained depressingly the same.
Dude, even with black people versus Asian people, he's had the same success rate with making friends. I'm glad that he calculated the race into that. So yeah, the guy we're talking about today, his head isn't really screwed on right, to say the least. And today we're going to find out more of why. Yesterday we figured out a lot, but today we are going to be reading Red's story, my experience with Arcadum. Or I keep saying his name wrong. I'm not really sure how to say his name, nor do I care that much, but let's get into it. Are you guys ready? Who's ready in chat? Who's ready to spend the next 5 hours or so reading more Twitlongers? Oh god. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Okay. Actually, I need to get some water. I'll be right back. All right. I apologize for the delay, but I do need to get some water. If I don't have water, I'm gonna fucking die. Boblax does more reading for his videos than most people do for their degree. This is true. I read for a living. Sucks that I'm dyslexic. Normie chat. Yo, thanks for the $5. Yeah. Thank you, Rock and Rune. Do you poo-tang? I don't know what that means. Anyways, let's start. Well, here we go. Since the 21st of July 2020, I was friends with Arcadum. We met via our mutual friend Kelly in VR chat, someone we talked about last time. He liked how I was funny and could make him laugh, so he sought me out. Now we have this. Clap back. So they met on the 21st of July last year, so they've known each other for about a year. This is the start of our chat history in which we added each other after our first talk in VR chat one-on-one. Ooh, one-on-one. So for those of you guys who don't know from the last stream, this guy likes to fap with hentai girls in VR chat, so not saying this person's a hentai girl, but just take the hentai part out. He likes to fap with fucking female VR characters. A little bit weird. I don't know if he does that with this girl, but we'll see. Now, first, I'll be transparent and state that I've been supported. He has been supportive to me financially in the past, from paying for a whole new computer for me to participate in Callus Row with, to paying for the avatar in which to play the role play. The roleplay in, which I did not ask for and was against in fear of being used against me later on, to even paying subs towards my channel whenever he came to say hi in my chat, to giving me emotional support when I felt down about continuing my career as a streamer. He was very sweet and constantly sent me messages of support. These events together made me see Arcadum as a best friend. We would hang out almost every day and watch TV shows together. And I would share a lot of my personal and professional problems with him, which is why a lot of what I'm about to recount was done in voice calls because we spoke a lot. To this moment, I still feel sympathy towards him. I have a history of long-standing relationship abusers who groomed me from a young age, and it frightens me to think that this could have been a similar situation. I'm mad and frustrated with myself. However, from current events, I found myself in a position where a lot of the red flags that I personally dealt with in this whole deal have also affected so many more people than around me. Female friends who never deserved to be treated the way that they were treated in the last week, nor ever at all for over a year. In a belief that by sharing this, I can inspire others to reach out with similar experiences and realize that you are not alone. If not for me, for them. Upon our first one-on-one conversation, it was immediately extremely personal about his relationship with Tiffany. Tiffany being his his fiancée of 8 years. And would constantly come to me for comfort and confide in me about the supposed abusive relationship that they shared together. As someone who has been through similar types of relationships, it pulled on my heartstrings to sympathize with this situation, so I would speak with him about it. However, this also came with almost immediate advances in a sexual way towards me. VR chat one-on-one. And now sexual. Saying that two consenting adults can help each other relieve stress, and how unattractive she made him feel. And how stressful it was. Even to later points crying to me over it. So yeah, something we established in the last stream is that this guy likes to cry and garner pity a lot. So we have the messages here. This is on the 22nd of July, so pretty much right as he meets this girl. I'm sorry that happened to you. I can assure you I just want to be your friend because I want to be your friend first. Hell, I first joined on you just so you could make me laugh. Haha, well, I hope we can continue with that. I don't try to fill my life with sad things anyway. Gosh, I hope I haven't bragged about my channel too much or anything like that. You barely mentioned it, to be honest. That's good at least. I just want to let you know. I just want you to know you were not a booty call or something like that. I really liked spending time with you. You made me laugh a lot tonight. But I won't shy away from the fact that I found you sexy as well. But it was meant more to me than that. I apologize for my bad reading. I'll probably get into the swing of things a little bit more within the next couple minutes. I apologize. She responds, You've made that more evident, and I'm grateful for your clarity. Hell yeah. So, what kind of music do you like? This is the first day he met her. The same day. Because I was going through a down point in my life at the moment, I reproached these advancements under the word that we were not together anymore. And that we were just waiting to find a new place to relocate away from each other. To also further point out, I do not make a habit of this type of behavior. Got some more messages here. This is from the same day. That's good. You made me feel a lot better about myself. You deserve it truly. You deserve it too. I'm glad that we can provide that for each other. It's comforting for sure. Did you want what happened to happen? So I'm assuming sexual stuff, I guess, happened in the VR chat. because I was just being as careful as possible. But I'm still unsure about it. My confidence is down a bit. Aw, geez, sorry to spam you. I'm a grown-ass woman. If I didn't want it, I would have said no. And you are proven to be someone who can take control of their own actions and not get carried away by them. I trust you not to throw a tantrum and leave like a child because he didn't get some. I don't know if that trust is very well placed, considering what we read before. And thank you for the kind comments in the YouTube chat. I appreciate it a lot. I'm just not responding like super frequently because I don't want to like ruin the flow of what's going on here. But yeah, I do appreciate these comments a lot. Thank you guys for your support. Anyways, I enjoyed today. I'm sorry if I don't show it to the fullest. We are all still a little new to each other. I understand, and that makes me feel happy to hear. But with that being said, I'm not an everyday kind of person with this kind of stuff. I value companionship just as much as I want to get freaky with someone. I understand. I am looking forward to chilling again. Alright. So far, this guy just seems pretty horny. Alright. However, it was never a good time for a long time after that. And that's when the emotional manipulation came in. Frequently, I would be asked to do things for him, saying it would make him feel better, and saying things to make me pity him, primarily stemming from the aforementioned troubled relationship. Doing so many things that I really don't wish to disclose, all under this floating pretense. That things between Tiff and him will be exposed between them sooner or later, and I will allow it. And it would allow him to be publicly single. After a while, I lost interest in anything romantic. I would still be as close. I'll still be him as a close friend. I would still be him as a close friend because it became more than apparent that nothing was going to change. And I was just some kind of rebound, even when he tried to convince me otherwise. So basically what she's saying here, to translate my horrible reading, is that Arcadum has this relationship with his IRL fiance, Tiff, and stuff goes bad between them, and then he goes to VR chat to fucking, sexually vent himself onto random people, and he like promises that they'll be romantic one day, and he'll be broken up from Tiff, but never really happens. That's what I'm getting from this. All right, next screenshot. You know who's amazing? You. Got him. You are a gorgeous human being inside and out. Aw, geez. Thanks, Red. I'm trying to spend time in my Discord and have a good time. Tiffany is in here drunk and is putting a lot of pressure on me. What kind of pressure? Just like being lovey-dovey. It's okay. They can do what they like. It doesn't mean you have to reciprocate it. Well, since we haven't made things public, I am like pressured to do so. Public, referring to them breaking up. And also keep in mind, so this is there's almost 20 Twitlongers now? Someone just said that in chat. There's almost 20. Alright then. Will this be a Twitterversus or is it too much for a video? I'm not sure yet. I'm leaning towards no, but we're just going to do this stream and find out later. We're on allegation 5 right now, right? So this guy's being lovey-dovey towards this person when he's already with his IRL fiance, and he was also apparently being sexual with 20 other people! 20! 4 of which we've already read through. So hopefully that adds a bit of context to what we're reading here. Oh, wait, whoa, this is big, okay? Okay, we gotta read this for, She put it in the wrong order, so we need to read this first. What are we on? Okay. Something important came up. Here's evidence of him trying to edit things much later, but continued the friendship due to sharing environments like Collis Row together and my belief that we were still good friends regardless and can be adults. The demands of my attention, however, never went down. I would constantly be called to attention even if I was doing my own thing. So the first thing she shows here is that, if we rewind, this was sent on the 2nd or the 18th of February, 2021, and edited on the 28th of August. And as we can see with the bottom messages that aren't edited, he says, I just want you to be mine. I want you to know that I'm finally done with my work, done with my obligations. So he's basically like kind of confessing his love to her. But then in the initial message where I assume he confessed his love to her, he re-edited it to say, I love Tiffany, Red. I don't want you. I want Tiffany. What? He edited this like 6 months later. Over 6 months later. To say that he loved his... Oh my god. That is fucking crazy. That's so weird. Alright. And now, messages of him, wanting attention. This is from January, or... I think it's, this person's European, I think. That's why, like, the dates are, like, reversed from, like, American/Canadian dates. So I believe this is May 1st, 2021. But she says, is it good? Still watching shows? You there? Okay, I'm convinced you are ignoring/avoiding me. I can take a hint. I won't bother you anymore. I am done ages ago. You just went to sleep. Dude, this is within the same day. You can't say that shit. Oh, she's ignoring me. She messaged within the same day. People have lives, bro. Alright. You didn't message me back, like you said you would, when you were done. And I am sitting in VR chat requesting you to join, and I'm being ignored again. It's okay, Red. You do what you want. All I wanted to do was talk about shit. I just got off because I saw you requesting. Why not invite me where you were? But by the time you are awake, my trackers are dead. Well, did you want to talk with me? Because I'm pretty upset, and the nightmares I had trying to sleep were really fucking with me this time. But I don't want to obligate you into it. Oh, you gotta talk about your nightmares? Your little nightmares? Jesus. Normally I wouldn't be that mean, but I mean, considering what we heard about this guy yesterday, I feel like it's warranted. Where's my good morning? I guess you're at PL. Let me know when you're done. This is like, okay, this is like the Fedora kitten shit. You know, like the meme where people are like, good morning, my kitten. You know, I think I read a tweet about it in my last Twitterversus Call Me Carson return. That's exactly what this message is. Where's my good morning, kitten? God. Jeez. All right, we got some more here. Wait, I need it bigger for me to read. All right. He's going to possibly be reading for 10 hours, maybe. We'll see. My feeling were hurt... Okay, this is from November 7th, 2020. My feeling were hurt pretty badly over the last 24 hours, and now I know you were depressed. It hurts even more, because I would have liked to help you. It is your choice on how you want to handle your depression, and I fully support that. I would have liked just a single message saying you needed some time or space. Completely ghosting me really hurt. Also, you messaged your own Discord during the time I was messaging you. It seemed like you were somewhat active, and that made it feel more and more like you were just straight ignoring me. I want to be clear. I don't think you owe me anything, nor do I expect anything from you. I just can't help but see this happening. I would like to think it isn't weakness to come to these conclusions. I know I certainly don't want to end up like people that send you these long messages about shit that you constantly deal with, which makes me feel like I shouldn't say anything. But I made a promise to be honest, so here it is. This does not affect our standing in any way to be clear. This is just a statement of my reaction to events. Your feelings are hurt. I understand that. I took time away because I felt like I was just either hurting people's feelings or just hurting my own feelings. I'm sorry. I want to talk to you today about it. I'm going to be free in VR chat if you want to hang after the not dry run. Yeah, I would like that. I'll be there. Okay. Just let me know when you're done. I'll be on the computer taking care of other stuff. Thank you. Alright. At some point I had eyes for another, and attempted to initiate something with them seriously. It did not turn out between us, unfortunately, and while at first Arcadium was supportive, however, later on it was turned back on me, saying that he was ready to drop everything for me. Oh my god, he said this to like 5 different e-girls at this point, man. This story in itself, in comparison to the other ones, doesn't seem like as bad. But when you like keep in mind what he was doing during this time with all the other e-girls or online girls that we have read up until this point, it's just so pathetic. However, I choose another person and destroyed him. He would hold that over my head. I do not wish to go any further than I already have, for this is all very personal to me. This is someone who I defended and supported throughout a lot of their problems as well. The outcome to all of this was that whenever it was inconvenient to have this information presented to his significant other, me and a lot of other women were kicked and blocked from everything Vernum related. Vernum, I learned last night, Vernum is like I think like this D&D group or like this VR group or like some sort of like project that Arcadum is like ahead of. So it's not only just being kicked and blocked from him, but also like his projects that they are like invested into and working on. And essentially thrown under the rug, and I cannot bear that to think that all of our stories could be silenced so easily. I hope this does not happen again with someone else, and that we can sort things out with himself and his relationship, and not draw people into this spiral ever again. Please get better. Please do better. So that is allegation Twitlonger number 5. Pretty short one, but it does continue adding to the character that is Arcadum. Here's the next one by Ursi Mira. She is a VTuber. I don't know if I said that right. I'll just say Mia, because I'm pretty sure her name is Mia. I'll just say Mia. I am disappointed, and I am done. I didn't think I would ever be doing this, but here we are. First, I'd like to start by saying that my experience is so minuscule compared to the stories and things I have seen Arkham has done to close friends. It's still something I experienced, and I want to shed some light on it. Arcadum was my friend, someone I looked up to because I saw how hard he worked on his community and his D&D campaign. He was someone who I admired as a streamer and had been so proud of his success. That being said, it was around June of 2020 and we started hanging out more in VR chat. Dude, after these allegations, I'm never using VR chat. Not saying I would do any of the stuff Arkham does, but VR chat is looking like less and less appealing as we go along. Not gonna lie. He seemed like he wanted someone to hang out with and someone to talk to. All of our DMs gave no indication of anything weird, just two friends chatting and saying I am here for him if he needs anyone. Why does he have so many, like... I understand having, like, a support group and maybe a support group of, like, some online people, but why are you, like... just venting your frustrations, especially your sexual ones, to just like a bunch of random girls. Like, they're all girls, right? Not saying you can't have girls that are just friends, but like, it's just a little weird. Like, it seems like there's ulterior motives too when he tries to vent with people, you know? We were already friends well before this, and I was single at the time. I thought none of it than just friends hanging out. It was nice we were hanging out a lot more. I was happy to hang out with him as my friend. He was telling me things were stressful and asked me to hop in VR, or he's inviting me to a world. Again, nothing strange or weird. Then I have some DMs. VR chat is Discord type level. Yeah, I agree. And a lot of this is in Discord too. Discord drama. This is from... The issue is I don't know, like, oh, okay, this one says 13. So that means this is June 5th, 2020. Arcadum says, your life matters to me, my friend, and I hope I never made you think otherwise with my behavior. I hope that wasn't weird to say. I was just thinking about it. What? You never made me think otherwise. I adore you, and I'm glad to call you my friend. Anytime you want to talk, I'm here, man. I may not give good advice, but I'm here as an ear, and to give support to someone who's deserving nothing but happiness. Thank you. All right. June 15th, 2020. Want to join me in VR chat? My shit crashed. I resent a request. How was AA? So AA is like I think it's like a roleplay group in VR chat. We talked about it last stream. It's called Ascension Academy. Just some sort of roleplay thing. I hope your stream was well. It was okay. I'm just super tired. I am inviting you. Oof, I got requested, but I never got it. Oof, I requested, but I never got it, so I got off. Sad. Okay. Yeah, I don't think when they say AA, they mean Alcoholics Anonymous. Alright. Uzu, are you there? Yeah, I'm hanging out in Discord. What's up, my brother? I just want to ask, have I made you feel uncomfortable in any way? Have I ever made you feel pressured in any way because I was a streamer? Or anything? This Twitter shit has me freaking out. Pff, no, trust me, Arkham. If you did, I'd let you know right away. I just don't want anything that I have done to make people think I am that kind of person. Did something happen recently to bring it up? Just all of these tweets. Plus, you know how VR chat is. Pff, I pay no mind to Twitter drama because that shit is toxic. Alright, just wanted to check in. Then he started to want me to dance for him privately. I dance a lot in VR chat, and my dances were lap dances because I used to dance for VR chat clubs. I do not understand the culture of VR chat. So she's giving virtual lap dances. Also, for context, people, VR chat is a virtual chat room, obviously, where you're in a virtual reality headset, but people's characters are whatever they want them to be. So a lot of guys are playing as Kermit the Frog. It's where Ugandan Knuckles came from. You know, there's a bunch of weird ass characters, usually a lot of anime girls. So she, is theoretically like lap dancing on Kermit the Frog or whoever the fuck he's being, Winnie the Pooh, any character, Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember a night when it was me, him, and another friend, who I later found out he was also trying to get her to do stuff with him. In a movie world. We were enjoying the movie, nothing weird, and he started to gesture at me to come outside of the watching room and ask me to dance for him. This is so weird! This is all virtual! Dude, I feel like I'm missing out. Like, this is like a whole new world to me. I did not know people, like, went to movie theaters and movies in VR chat and then asked them to, like, go out of the movie. Dude, this is so weird. This is so, like, fascinating to me. I don't know. Like, I'm not, like, missing out. I'm missing out on, like, the knowledge of people doing this. Not, like, that I would want to do it, right? It's just it's so interesting, you know? Like, obviously, this situation is weird and creepy, but that aside, like, the whole concept of just being in a VR world and being in, like, a VR movie theater with, like, Kermit the Frog, and then he, like, takes the girl to the back and is like, ooh, want a lap dance for me? It's just so weird! It is so weird! I have no idea. It is, like, this is like Terminally Online, the video game. This is crazy. This is crazy, guys. I don't know, like, I'm not really, like, familiar with this culture at all, and it's just really fascinating to learn about, especially through this lens. Wow. I did not know that this was a thing people did. Ask for lap dances in virtual reality while a movie's going on, you know? You know, we've all heard about, like, you know, kissing in the movie theater, maybe, like, a little bit of sexual activity in the movie theater, getting a little naughty, but VR? Leaving the movie theater for a VR lap dance? I don't know. Okay. All right. He said he really liked my dancing and wanted to see. Why during a movie with his friend he wanted to do this is beyond me, but I did. I danced for him, and just went back to the movie like it was completely normal despite repeating in my head, that was weird. That was really weird. On July 1st, 2020, he asked to get on a call with me. He started the call asking how I was doing, and then went into how he found me very attractive. The things with his girlfriend were not too good. That he wasn't getting any affection or felt attraction, and really wanted me to ERP, erotic roleplay, with him in VR. Keep in mind, he was doing this, he was asking for sexual stuff around this time with 5 other girls so far. Like the red person we just talked about beforehand. So you gotta keep this in mind when this is happening. It's not just weird. It's not that he just has a girlfriend, it's that he's doing this with, like, so many people simultaneously. I just had gotten out of a relationship a few months ago, and I was not comfortable at all, nor was I attracted to him in the slightest. I told him I was sorry that this is happening to you, maybe try talking with her or getting couples therapy. He said he wouldn't be able to do that. He also said he's separating from her and he was planning to leave her. This never happened. But was still looking for someone to help with sexual release. Stop using girls as fucking cum dumpsters. Jesus, dude. I don't know if that's, like, fucked up for me to say or whatever, but that's probably how he's seeing these girls, like, based on what I'm reading here. Like, what the fuck, man? That's just fucked up. I was baffled and shocked, to say the least. I told him I was flattered, but I'm not comfortable with that because I could get attached. This wasn't the truth. I didn't want to say that I don't find you attractive to someone who's my friend and runs the RP I am in. So yeah, there's, like, a tiny bit of power dynamic going on here, since he's, like, running the stuff she's, like, invested in, like, community-wise. Like, he's the leader of her community, kind of. He continued to push this and call to get me to agree with until I put my foot down. Whoa, he pressured? Okay, it's one thing to, like, ask and be creepy, but it's another thing to, like, lay it on thick, dude. Like, please do this for me. Hey, Uzi, you around? I'm in my car dropping off a stray cat seat from our house. Oh, okay, let me know when you can talk. Okie dokie. As in now, or you will tell me. I will tell you? KK, I'm free. Just got home. A call that lasted 9 minutes! Cucked. 9 minutes. Oh, you try to confess your love to someone? 9 minutes. Completely cucked, dude. Wow. Wow. Alright. Left that call confused and feeling guilty that I hurt my friend's feelings for not wanting to be sexual with him. After that, he would DM me asking if I made him uncomfortable or if he pressured me, and despite everything inside deep down going yes, I told him no. I told him I would have told him that, but I didn't. I was honestly scared of making things awkward or getting kicked out of the RP. Yeah, see, this is like some power dynamic shit. Or him just not being my friend anymore. I felt sympathy because he seemed so lonely and unwanted and unloved. After that, we just stopped hanging out. He talked in passing if he was around with other friends. Oh, we talked in passing if he was around with other friends. I would DM him every now and then, going, "I love you, friend. I'm here for you, friend," because I genuinely thought he was because I thought he was genuinely my friend. I spoke so highly of him. I thought it was because he was a busy man. He was running a shit ton of D&D campaigns, and it made sense. He was also running a shit ton of Love Quest campaigns, apparently, as well. Here is from August 25th, 2020, so a year ago. "Thanks, friend. I'm sorry I haven't been around. Nah, man, shit's been busy. We all been busy. I've been working really hard and dealing with sadness and stuff like that." Oh, we know how you deal with sadness, buddy. "Well, you know I'm always here for you if you need a laugh." He's thinking in his head, "You rejected me last time. I don't need a laugh, I need a cum." Bo Blacks make a Discord. I do have a Discord, but I'm not going to be talking frequently in it because I don't want to end up like this guy. Not that I would, but I do have a Discord. I don't know if there's a valid link anywhere. I recently made a link tree, which is linked in the bio of my Twitter, but I didn't link my Discord yet. I'll probably do that soon. But yeah, I do have a Discord. Anyways, yeah, I know. It's funny. I've been going back through our messages and saw the birthday art. This is still the first time anyone has drawn not safe for work art of me. It's wild. I told you I would do it if you hit 10K, man. That you did. It actually made me feel a little sexy, to be honest. But yeah, it was cool, and I maintained 10K this whole time. You should always feel sexy, my boy. Okay. Oh god. Oh god. What are we about to read here? That's ooze. I wish I felt sexier. And I'm glad I can inspire you. You always inspire me. Hopefully TwitchCon will be a thing next year. And I'll give you a big old hug. Thank God this happened during COVID. Thank God TwitchCon didn't happen in between all of this fuckery. Thank fucking God. Because if TwitchCon, with the amount of girls this guy has talked to, if TwitchCon happened in 2020 or 2021, something would have went wrong. This would have been much worse, with at least one of the girls, or a couple of the girls, considering how much he was talking to, you know, thank fucking God for COVID. COVID, like, saved these girls from further trauma, I swear. I could certainly use one. I'm sorry about any pressure I may have put in you ever. Just reminiscing about things. Pff, you never pressure me, heart. Alright, I was just desperate for affection, then I was feeling bad about it. I think you're a pretty swell person. I understand, I've been there before myself. But just so you know, I never felt pressured from you at all. And I value you greatly, my friend. Are you going to make a video highlighting these accusations because your videos get more attention than these live streams? Maybe, but these are really long, and I don't know what to highlight. It could take a while, but I might. It depends if like something else comes up that I need to cover, I'll probably put it on the back burner, but maybe one day, because I do think these things are interesting. But yeah, I mean, for now you guys can just watch the stream and support it, link it to people. This is her proving it's him. I mean, we don't really need the proof, but there you go. It's good that she added it anyways. Good to be thorough. Alright. I have no recordings like some people do, and I wished I did. Oh my god, if she had a recording of the fucking VR lap dance, or at least him asking for it in the fucking movie theater. I would love to see it because I really want to know like what his like character model is, because just the fact of like fictional characters like Sonic the Hedgehog asking for like a lap dance or whatever character he is, it's just like hilarious. I would have loved to see the visual of that, and obviously to expose how much of a weirdo this guy is. And I suggest people start lining up the dates of all the other women who he had similar conversations with. This man needs help, and I want him to get better and do better. I am disappointed, upset, and hurt. I don't want sympathy messages. I just hope that my words have merit. I support all of the women who he has hurt so much, some being my close friends. I wanted to share my experience. I said mine was minuscule in comparison, but I wanted to show he has a pattern of predatory behavior to multiple women. Well, I actually do, even though like this Twitlonger did not have as many instances of him being creepy as like other ones, I definitely do think that this was insightful to his character, so thank you for sharing this, Mia. I think you did a really good job writing that. Next, we're going to look at Flonka's story. Apparently, this is a pretty big one, I've heard. And this one is a Google document. So the format's going to be a little different. Let's see. Okay. This is number 7, I believe. This entire document is a trigger warning for sexual assault and abuse. Oh, okay. So here's when stuff gets serious. Apparently, this is going to be the most serious one yet, because up until this point, we have not seen sexual assault. We have only seen or heard of, sexual harassment and manipulation and being a bad friend and stuff like that. So let's go. My story. I believe I was forced and groomed into silence about my experience up until this point. Recently, there have been a lot of drama circulating around one Jeremy Black, aka Glorious Arcadum. I am going to briefly and concisely describe my experiences involving this person. On the night of... this goes like farther back. I don't think we've had someone go as far back as 2019 as of yet. On the night of November 25th, 2019, I was sexually assaulted by Arkham in my own... Okay, this is really serious. Holy shit. Considering the previous stories, I did not think it would get this serious, but here we go. I'll try to refrain from, making jokes and stuff. This is fucked up. I did not... Okay, jeez. I visited Arkham to my home in hopes to help him escape his supposed abusive household setting with his significant other, and simply wanted him to have a fun weekend with my old roommate and I. He took advantage of me on the night of the 25th and used my emotional vulnerability to attempt and perform sexual acts with me. The night began pretty normal and all three of us were watching movies. Once my roommate went to bed, Arcadum asked to scratch my back and play with my hair. What? This is so weird. Is this like a normal thing? I don't think it is. I was obviously okay with this because he hadn't been intimate with me before this point, and I'm super friendly in this sense with others. It was only with his hands starting to wander where they shouldn't when it became something more. I finally got the courage to get up from the seat I was in. He also stood up and attempted to embrace me very close. I allowed it because I assumed it was a hug. Only to feel his erection against my leg. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. I remained motionless. I did not touch Arkham back in any way, shape, or form. This weird, dry, humpy embrace lasted several minutes as he cried into my neck. Crying? I could feel him gripping at my shirt, and I really feel bad reading this, but I'm going to read this, and pants holding me violently, and he's just crying into my neck. Once the first hug finally ended, I pulled away and verbally tried to console him, which I am terrible at in general, about his relationship and home life issues. After a bit of talking and him venting to me, I told him he should go to sleep because it was extremely late in the night. We had plans the next day that we did not get to because I was petrified from this night. He complied, and I walked him to his room, which was across the house from my door. I checked to make sure his sleeping arrangements were good, and that we had water, food, and toilet paper, etc., or he had that. When I went to leave the room, he asked for another hug in the frame of the door. For reference, I am about 5 foot 3 inches and around 145 pounds. Arcadum is a larger man both in size and height. I agreed out of submission to his emotional distress, which led him to forcing me up against a wall and proceeding with his version of a hug. Again, my body was touched and grabbed at, purposely avoiding my genitals and breasts to a degree. It felt like hours, but it most likely went on for minutes. Minutes? Usually hug someone for like 30 seconds or something, not minutes. That's kind of fucked if you're their friend. But the line was crossed when he started kissing my neck and tried to hide it behind crying. I pushed him away as gently as I could and disengaged politely to my room. That was my first night staying in this home, that I locked my door before I went to sleep. My mistake in all of these encounters was remaining silent and not telling him to stop, but years of sexual and emotional abuse from older men has taught me to just let it happen and move on. That's very sad. So that is exactly what I did. I was terrified not only for my physical safety, as he easily could overpower me if I retaliated, but I also feared for my career, as it was so deeply intertwined in his community, just like a lot of the other girls. So there's that like power dynamic socially. I fear he would spread rumors and lies about me and use my mental illness and past struggles as ammunition. And for all of you reading, you now know that my fears were justified. Unlike a lot of other women that have suffered due to this man, whether it is emotionally, financially, verbally, or physically, my experiences do not have screenshots or recordings. I do not have receipts for the marks he left on my skin with his negligence. I tried to tell my story in the past, but got silenced by his ability to crush anyone and everyone he wanted to. And now I finally get to tell my truth. Part 2, Emotional Abuse. This section will heavily be describing and citing the onslaught of emotional and verbal abuse that was put through by Arcadum. This occurred in 2020 and 2021, and during a certain conflict involving the project known as Callus Row. I will provide further context in it if people really need to ask and want to see, but to save the document and to not make it all about that matter, I am leaving out those details. Arcadum had little to no regard for my emotional well-being during and after this conflict, and I was left to pick up the pieces for a good majority of my roleplay career. The only response I got was a lol. I have received receipts from consenting parties showing Arcadum blatantly demonizing me to several of his other victims in an attempt to keep my voice from being heard. Those will be linked below. To conclude this document that was honestly traumatizing to relive and write, I believe I was abused in several aspects by Arcadum, and I believe he is continuing to get away with these actions without proper consequence. I hope my voice and onslaught of evidence and information all of you are seeing shows you exactly the kind of person he is, or he has been, to myself and other individuals involved. Again, these screenshots posted or not that are not mine were given context permission to use in the statement. Thank you. Okay, we're not done this document yet because we still need to read these screenshots and stuff, but like so far, like this person is legitimately brave for writing all of this down. and being so concise and informative on something that she probably should not have to relive. So I definitely, thank her for her transparency and her, bravery and sacrifice probably mentally to like make this. And I hope her the best, because that was really, really saddening to read. But let's just look at these for now. All right. Okay. Yeah, the story I'm going over right now is about sexual assault. The other ones weren't, but this one is. This is from April 18th, 2021. And this is him talking to Momo, which is a girl we talked about previously, about Flanka, which is a girl he sexually assaulted in November 2019. Flanka left Collis Row because I maintained a ruling that her character is dead, and when she told me she was taking her priest character with her and went, I said, lol, good luck. She took that personally, like I was making fun of her pain. Then she told someone in a DM that she was going to try and ruin my career, that I was a sexual assaultant. Obviously, I did not do anything of the sort. But I am super stressed out that in this environment, it may not matter what the truth is. A twit longer, even if it's false, could sully or destroy what I built, even when I have done nothing wrong. This is coming from the girl I have talked out of suicide, helped her pay her move and bills on hard times, and have tried to help at every occasion. I am honestly a little heartbroken that she would treat me like this. Momo says, "What the actual fuck, man? I'm so sorry you're going through this. I don't really know Flanka that well. Yeah, it's awful. So anyways, I'm trying to relax, and I'm not terrified of what one unstable person is going to try and do." Here we have another one. This is him talking to Red, which is which was the first girl we covered tonight or today. It will become night soon. We're gonna be here for a while. But this is from April 26, 2021. Whee! Might be a while before I get back. A bunch of things happened. I'll have to tell you later. Like what? Just letting you know in case you were waiting on me. I had a panic attack. I have never had one of those before. Sorry to bother you with it. Well, why did you have a panic attack? From magic? Outside the store. I got a message that Flanka is planning to come forward soon, and I got so mad from the lies she will most likely tell. And then I thought how I might lose everything. How people will see me differently. Oh, she's trying that? All because her character died. Alright. All because her character died. Okay, bro. Okay, fucking dumbass. Arcadum has shown blatantly deleting / editing past messages to cover his original intention. The first screenshot was a conversation about him assaulting me. I was terrified and brushed it off, and even had gotten to a point where I blamed myself for it ever happening. The second screenshot has been heavily edited by Arcadum and has a lot of messages deleted in between my own. He went back in the last few days, it seems, not just for myself, and edited several sexual or romantic messages. If videos of these exact DMs are needed to prove authenticity, you can ask me for them. Okay. So we already know that he's been editing a lot of messages. So I definitely believe her. So let's check these out. Wait. Okay. These messages, they're both linking to the same thing, but there's two separate. Getting confused. Okay, let me try something else. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Flanka, May 2nd, 2021. I care about you too. You are one of the only older men I feel safe around. Then a message from him. She responds, sure. Then some messages from him. At Stealths, I did feel a draw to you, but I didn't follow through because I love Tiffany, and it would have been a mistake. I hope that you continue to feel safe around me. So that's an edited message. Him adding that he loves Tiffany. She responds, not to the edited message, but the original. It's okay, it's better that we didn't. Sex is very scary for me. So yeah, obviously the messages are completely different because sex is not even referenced in the edited version. Thank you for respecting me as a woman. I'm not disgusted, I'm just damaged. I can't be with a man without literally getting sick and throwing up because of what happened to me. This is from... So this is from earlier. This is from December 5th, 2020. What? Arcadum, what the fuck? Don't worry about the tax. I will cover that. What the fuck am I dreaming? Everything's a safe question. I've been teaching myself boundaries so you won't upset me. I didn't even get to read it. Yes, but maybe not tonight. I'm on my period and earlier made me not in the mood. I understand. So I guess he deleted a bunch of messages in between there. Alright, well, thank you so much. Not sure what you meant by that last bit. That's edited. Sorry I was answering a question, Callus Row. But yes, I'm not comfortable with that. Thank you for being polite about it. So yeah, basically what she's showing here is that he edited messages. And that's about it for this document. She said she would follow up if people asked more questions. So I'm gonna just check if she did. Just gonna check her Twitter real quickly. I'm gonna take this off in case there's like something sensitive or what have you. Okay, it seems like there is no more from her. So, we're gonna move on to Cry's story. Cry. My experience with Arcadum. Your growth as a content creator has been great to watch. You are miles better than when you started. Good luck on the continued improvement. Thank you so much, Asylum. I appreciate that. You know, when you're doing YouTube for so long, it's really hard to see the incremental improvement, but I'm glad you guys are, you know, I am supposedly improving. I try my best. Alright. Let us read this in a second. Just gonna drink water. Alright. My experience with Arcadum. My experience with Arcadum was, in simple terms, vulnerable from the start. I was hoping to grow my my roleplay experience while I was at my rock bottom living in a spare room with a goal to volunteer somewhere I was passionate about. I reached out to Arcadum after meeting him in a different lobby where I explained a bit of my circumstance by asking him if he needed free work. Oh. Is there a way like I can zoom in to format this differently? Because no. Because this is like, if I zoom it all the way out, I feel like no one can read that shit. Shit. Alright. This is from July 23rd, 2020, from Cry. Hey, this is gonna be kind of a weird message. Actually, let me see if I can rearrange some things so I can read it in a different way. Okay. Hey, this is gonna be kind of a weird message, but first off, thanks for giving me advice back then for Twitch. I said before you were the very few to give me legit advice. I end up taking a really long break from Twitch because I was being exploited hard by my brother on stream to stream. I essentially was forced to stream, or else he wouldn't drive me around or let me use VR. That's really weird. That's so weird. It sucked. I ended up having to clean the garage so he could fit his Tesla in exchange for him to let me use his index, which resulted in him scamming me, saying he was never going to let me use it and just wanted the Tesla in the garage. I left that house and that toxic family back in March and have been living with friends ever since. When I asked for advice, it was because I wasn't having fun with Twitch anymore, and I realize now it's because I have zero control. I had zero control, and I was being used like a puppet for content. I appreciate you at least giving me the chance to RP in your lobby. I would have loved to have been an extra if it wasn't for not owning the VR and having to pay my brother out, or having to pay my brother to use it. Only thing I owned was full body, since VR helped me so much with my clinical depression. I'm reaching out now because I still care about your passion and would love to help you out in any way I can. I don't have a VR right now, but I have a nice dual screen setup and was wondering if you needed any background work to help you ease with stress. I'm good at scripting Google Suite and overall most things tech related as well as micromanaging, but I'm willing to learn just about anything at the moment. I honestly just have too much time on my hands and would love to be able to help someone who tried to help me. I'm offering free work. I don't want money. I have a full-time job, slowly getting back on my feet. I just need a distraction, and your content helped me get through really tough parts of my life. So I'd love to be able to give back if there's any way I can. Arcadium responds, "Oh geez, I'm sorry that happened to you. I can try to find something for you. Hell, I wouldn't mind just someone to hang out with. I'm free after 4 if you ever just want to talk and play video games or just chill. I don't mind at all if you ever need a favor. By all means, I'm here and you won't bug me at all. Honestly, what happens to me sucks, but I can see it as a blessing in disguise. I now realize how my toxic family and how they've been keeping me down. After all, my brother kicked me out with $8 in my bank account, and my mom defended him so much of a family, you know. Lucky for me, I have a counselor, and a really good friend group who helped me get through this. That, and I reached out in Rob's community when I first got kicked out, since my friend group consists of 20-year-olds, and I needed older advice. And luckily, I got really helpful tips. I just bought my first car last month. I'm so excited since I'm landing on my feet pretty quick and go back to college next month. I normally don't like telling people my life story, but I figured I might as well with you so you can better understand why I'm willing to help. All right. From the start, he knew I was in a vulnerable state, and his first request was to be a friend. After I was dealing with a lot of hardships, I assumed he had no ill intentions, so I opened up a bit and told him about my life. After some time, he started hitting on me, and I recall having that sense of obligation since he bought me my first VR headset. After some time, I switched to helping Callus Row. I was passionate about helping the talented team and making the project grow. I played a character without a soul since he underestimated how insecure I was at the time due to life events, but I tried to prevail. I ended up retiring the character to just learn how to film in order to make Season 3 have decent videos. Although throughout this he would flirt with me quite a bit and kept promising grandiose ideas. After some time, the friendship became strictly professional, but there was one night that completely ruined my summer. There was a valid concern brought up by a staff member, and Arcadum went off on them. It was uncalled for, so as a friend, I tried to talk to him in private to tell him how he messed up and how to fix it since the event was unacceptable. He ended up hitting on me hard and trying to distract himself instead of trying to address the situation at hand. I recall saying something along the lines of, "You wanted professional boundaries," to highlight his hypocrisy as well as just asking him to stop, but he continued. I bit my tongue since he streamed shortly after while I was dealing with flashbacks of PTSD from my assault. I ended up drinking like a sailor that night and blacked out on VR chat, wondering what I could have done to improve the situation. I was trying to rationalize an irrational event. I ended up waking up covered in my own vomit, and I'm grateful I was sleeping sideways that night. Holy shit. Alright. That's really crazy. It seems like this guy is not only is he fucked up, but he's also like trying to like prey on like vulnerable girls. Like a lot of these girls seem to have like some sort of past trauma that like Arcadum directly knows about and is kind of like leveraging or misusing. That's kind of what I've seen as a pattern so far. Arcadum on the 10th of May says, "Thanks for the conversation yesterday. It may have not looked like it, but it helped me, and sorry if I made things awkward. I promise I did not mean them that way." So this is like right after, I guess, he like flirted with the girl after she tried to confront him on being an asshole or whatever he did. "Did you see my messages?" Cry responds, "I blacked out drunk after that talk. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to relax. You were the one who said you wanted a professional relationship." Arcadum responds, "I agree completely. That's all I want. I just want to make sure you're okay is all. You crossed that line last night. I called you as a friend to point out how harsh you were on this person." Arcadum responds, "Seriously didn't mean it that way. I seriously didn't. Please, I'm sorry that it seemed that way. And you did help me out as a friend. That's all I want. I won't talk to you about stuff like that again. I was not trying to do anything untoward. I promise you. I did not intend to cross any lines that night in VR chat. This message was edited on the 28th of August, 2021, which is when he went back and edited all the messages he had with his girls. So I assume this said something very different beforehand. Thank you for being there and talking me down from blank. So a lot of those messages are edited towards the end. All right. On the 10th of May, so I believe this is a day after the incident, Cry says, I'll be back at it tomorrow. I'm just highly emotional from waking up in my vomit on Monday and still need to clean that. I might need a new bed, which sucks. Ass. Ski knows why, but I don't want to talk about it. He knows that you crossed a moral line with me. He does not know about our relationship. I need to relax and not worry about work for one night because you triggered a 3-year-old memory and I can't stop thinking about that night. I don't think you are a bad person. I just don't like being treated like an object, which I understand was not your intention, but that's how I felt. He responds, I apologize once more. If I can help in any way, please let me know. She says, I appreciate that you listened to my concerns on needing time to process. You triggered PTSD of the night I was raped after you continue to push the ideas in your brain and emotionally unwind before stream. I was keeping professional boundaries and expecting this talk approaching like a friend. That what you did to Sketchu was harsh as heck, and you need to work on controlling your tone. And not seeing red to not hurt others' feelings. I understand you are headstrong and logical, and that's why I try to paint emotions in a logical sense so you can understand and develop yourself if the logic is rational. Passion is a great thing, but it also develops ego. Life is a logical beams of balance, in my opinion. Learning to control both your intellect and emotions is what creates a strong leader. But understanding that the cup is never full is the hardest thing to grasp. My passion is learning, and that's why I can act completely fine. While you cross a boundary, I said. You saying you wanted a professional relationship was me identifying a fallacy. But you controlled because you focused on your needs. I understand that. That's why I put a face and can act fine while I get flashbacks of the night my boundaries were crossed because I work on my shit and hold myself accountable for my trauma instead of letting it repeat. I was not vocal there because you had a stream and I respected that. One of my main morals is to not be viewed like an object when I set boundaries. I'm no longer mad, but if you want my transparent honesty, you are going to need to start working on yourself and trying to grab hold of your emotions. You can't expect others to do that for you, and that's the hardest thing to learn since it's easier to just let emotions model. I am highly insecure, and that's why I'm transparent, but I am too smart to be manipulated, even if you don't see it right now. I like you as a friend, but I'm not at 160% production mode because I'm busy working on myself to be successful for this job. While I read that, Oregon guest sent $5. This is only the start, Boblax. This isn't all to YouTube. I have, but there's so much more about to blow the fuck open, so good luck to Arcadum. Alright, thank you for the $5. I don't know if you're someone involved in this situation, but if you are, good luck. I hope that, you all get the justice you deserve. And apparently this is only the start, so I guess I'm going to be streaming a lot more. Okay. He started me on a spiral of PTSD. I didn't sleep for days. It got so bad I need to be hospitalized. He manipulated me and used me like a pawn knowing I was vulnerable. I'm not posting this for sympathy. I'm posting this not for sympathy, but for awareness of his tactics of abuse of power to gain a pity party of girls into garnering sympathy from him and then slowly pushing those boundaries when it's not good enough for him. I was groomed and I was naive. But as I see over 10 plus girls who have fallen victim to him, I know what he did was intentional. He is a predator, in case you still have doubts. And then, ooh, we have an audio file here. Okay. Let's see. Oh. We can't download it, guys. We're having the same issue we had last night. Too many people want to see this. I'm gonna have to look. If anybody has a copy of it's called OOF1 MP3, and it's from Cry. If anyone has a link to that, or like a mirror or a YouTube re-upload, please link it to me on Twitter at Boblax so we can continue this as fast as possible. Okay, Naomi apparently re-uploaded the audio. But this one is also fogged up. Here's another mirror that someone posted below. Okay, we have it. We have it. We have it. Okay, we have it. We have it. All right. Let me. Playing. Let's start.
And you're not okay with me talking to Tiffany.
You can try if you want, but she didn't want to talk to you. She's already told me that. She doesn't want to talk to any of you.
So you mean there's more?
Yeah. I've told you that.
No, you haven't. I brought it up a couple times and you just said no.
Well, not when we were doing stuff, no.
Is it anyone I know?
No. I don't think so. This was all before you anyway.
So it was just another person.
It's not like that.
So then what is it then?
What do you mean? When we were talking, I thought we were having fun. I didn't realize that you had feelings for me because
I didn't have feelings for you. You literally, you said the messages are there. Like you told me you were a friend and that you just needed help.
Yeah.
And I tried helping you. And now look where it's got me.
And now what?
Look where it's got me. An extreme emotional distress.
And I'm sorry. It's not like I wanted that to happen to you. I didn't engineer that to happen to you.
Yeah, but you were my boss and you crossed those boundaries.
I'm sorry. Oh, man. Oh, man, my life is falling apart.
I mean, you got yourself in a pickle, man. I don't know what else to tell you. That's
all I can do is do my best to make things right.
I remember I warned you. I even warned you. I was like, just make sure you don't do this a lot, because this is how most streamers fall.
Yeah. Well, you were never an object to me. Ever. And I will stand by that, because it's me saying it. I know my heart. You were a friend. And I'm sorry that we fell out of touch due to various circumstances. But I hung out with you with Chandler. I wanted to make sure that happened. And we had a great time, and it was no problems at all. And I was very happy for it. And I'm sorry this is happening now. This is not what I wanted. This was not my intention. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to do the things in Kalispell that you want to do. And I will talk to her about that. But we can't talk directly anymore.
Okay.
That's the cost. And I'm very, very sorry. I really am.
Okay.
That this is causing you emotional distress, because it's causing me a lot too, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Are you doing okay? Like you said that you were really depressed, and I'm very sorry this is on you. Do you need help in any way?
How can you help me? Because my depression started because of, like, that spiral. Or you remember my plans for the summer. Like, I was having, like, pretty good plans, and then that started. You triggered my rape PTSD.
I'm sorry.
And it literally sent me down the spiral, and, like, look where I'm at now. It's not easy. I was already barely climbing up my confidence ladder. And after that, you just kind of, like, knocked me back all the way to square one. And it just feels like, okay, here I go again. Like, it just feels like I have to deal with it, and you just get to say, okay, I'm sorry, and then move on with life.
So, do you want me to suffer for it? Is that what you're implying?
No.
Because you know what I get to move on to? I get to move on to being homeless and begging my wife to accept my forgiveness, or accept her forgiveness, and a bunch of other shit that is really stressing me out, while also juggling all the different... My life isn't going to be some cakewalk that I'm going to walk away from this unscathed. Cry. I'm not.
Yeah, but you're the one who decided to do those acts.
Yes, but so did you. I didn't make you do anything.
You're the one who said you needed a friend.
You said okay. Are you saying it's my fault? Yes, I did ask you. But you said yes. I didn't make you do anything. I didn't take advantage of you. Is that what you feel like happened?
I was
True.
literally at the bottom of my life. You said you needed a friend. I tried to be your friend. And then you kept hitting on me. And then when I tried to, like, tell you to just find escorts or find someone else, that wasn't good enough for you. And then I told myself, you know what? If it's not me, it's probably some other girl. Then at least I can keep my mouth shut.
I never treated you like that. In my mind, I never looked at it like that. And if that's how it happened, you know, to you, I am sorry, but that is not how I approached it at all. That is not how.
So are you denying the fact that, like, I repeatedly told you that, like, oh, hey, there's escorts, you can use them, and then you repeatedly still made advances, even though I tried to shoot you down several times?
You didn't tell me no. You said, hey, you could try escorts and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. And then you, like, cry. There was never if I didn't pick up those hints, I'm sorry. But I did not force myself on you. I did not take advantage of you, and I will fight for that because I didn't do that. I'm not that kind of person. If I crossed any lines by hitting on you when it was inappropriate, I'm sorry, and I have done dividends to make up for that, and I have tried to help you and make sure, and all of that wasn't like out of guilt or anything. That was because I really honestly wanted to help you. But right now, those things have come to light to Tiffany, and I need to do this to fix my relationship with her.
Okay.
And I am very sorry.
I wish you the best of luck then.
Thank you, Cry. Okay, so couple of logistics things here. I'm going to message Simon to let him know that you need to go through him. I won't tell him why. I'll just tell him he's a pretty cool guy. I know he'll understand. And, well, do you still want to be on the marketing team? Like, what's your plan? I know you're in a depressive state right now.
I have been filming.
You have? Okay. Okay, then I'll let him know that as well. I guess the last thing I'll say is, you are not an object, and for whatever my words may be worth for you to hear, you are a valuable individual. You are. And you can do whatever it is that you put your mind to, and that I believe in you. Okay?
Okay.
Do you believe me when I tell you that? Because it is the truth. I believe that.
I just want to heal, man.
I hope that you can. Thanks for talking to me. I'm sorry about the ambush after you woke up. I didn't really have a lot of options, though. But I am sorry. I'll let you go, and I'll tell Simon. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Cry.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so there we have it. That was the call. That thing at the end where he was like, I believe in you. Do you believe what I'm saying? And she's just silent. She's like in her head thinking, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. All right, so that's about it for Cry's statements. I'm trying to find the next one. Next one is Lyra's story. All right. Lyra. My personal history with Arcadum. I've never done a Twitlonger before, and honestly, I really hoped my first one would be a silly, passionate post about the latest fandom I was taking part in. Instead, unfortunately, this is a serious post about a problem that has arisen up. I want to start this by saying that this post is not out of emotion or malice or anything of the sort. Awareness and sympathy for the other victims of manipulation caused by this person is my only goal. I have already come to terms with everything long ago and moved on. The only reason this post is being written is because it has come to my attention of how many other women are coming to each other, realizing we were all manipulated in the same ways. And I worry if there are more that we aren't aware of. I am far from the most hurt in this situation, so I'll keep my post as short as possible to allow the others that were hurt more to share about what happened with them. Thank you for the $10, Robbie. I believe in you and I will protect you from the Kermit Frog in VR. On a serious note, sorry to all the victims and I hope they get better. I hope they get better too. Thanks for the kind message towards them. We have a TLDR here, but since we're going to read all of it, I don't know if we should. Well, I don't know where the TLDR begins and ends, so let's just read it out. It has come to my attention that Arcadum emotionally manipulated multiple women, including myself, for comfort and sexual desires, lied to them, and now has removed and or blocked a majority of them under the statement, at least the one given to me, to better his relationship with Tiffany. To my understanding, he has cut off many business deals and canceled stream plans months in the making with multiple women, hurting their jobs as well. But I'll leave it to them to bring it up. This twitlonger is covering my experiences with Arcadum solely. Let me be as clear and plain as I can. be and start with the beginning. I first met Arcadum during Callus Row, where he was a dungeon master that paid little attention to me, and we barely talked, and if we did, it was strictly about roleplay. One day he reached out, and the conversation led to start seeing him as a potential friend that was constantly dealing with false friendships and trust that fame attracts. And he leaned into that. He knew he could rely on me and say things with confidence that I wouldn't share, most of which I still feel like I can't share even now. And I spent the time comforting him with various subjects. We sat for a short time and I'd play music and lend an ear, and we would vent back and forth. After the subject of my rape and divorce came up, either by coincidence or by choice, Arcadum decided to become much more intimate. For those who don't know, in 2019 I was raped by my husband at the time, which was the reason I finally moved a couple years ago, right before COVID started. This has led to multiple rough points in my life, leaving me very emotionally vulnerable. I admit, because of this event, I was easy to manipulate as someone with a need to find connections with people and find comfort. It can be easy to take advantage of that. Arcadum did, knowingly or not. Well, considering how many damaged people he has manipulated over the course of the streams and me reading all of this, I'd say it is knowingly. But obviously that's speculation. Again, I am writing this with a cool head. I understand and accept that this happened, and originally just wanted to move on. Arcadum made sure I felt like I was special, the only one he could trust. Oh my god. Considering all the other girls he said that to. Yikes. He insisted he felt so happy and delighted that I would consider him a friend, and continued to push that I was second to no one. I gave cuddles and support because, to my understanding, he was going through horrible relationship issues, and was planning on separating and moving, something that was parallel to what I was going through at the time. Many times he talked about getting a giant streamer house for him and all his friends, and he wanted me to move there as well. That didn't work out for somebody else, so don't think that's a very good idea. Oh my god. If you guys thought the Sky House was bad, that would have been... The Arcadum house would have been like 10 times worse. By the way, Sky's fairly innocent in that regard. He got way too much slack for that, in my opinion. He was just in over his head. He didn't do anything morally abhorrent. Just to clarify. Anyways, continuing. Which I always said I was flattered by the offer, but I wouldn't leave my current roommate at the moment. He even asked if I would date him, and I said it was too early in a friendship for an answer on that. And he cried, and he started listing issues going wrong in his life, though I found out later that these events happened around the same time as some others. Jeez, this guy wants to have like 10 wives. Arcadum continued to say I was the only one he could trust, that we had a personal friendship, and wanted personal lap dances again with the VR chat lap dances. Even though I am asexual, I used to pride myself in my dances, and I thought they were great for folks to distract themselves as a form of comfort. There were couple times where he would ask, and I said I'd rather just talk as friends. He would apologize and say how much of a terrible person he was for asking, and in the same sentence insist it was because I was so special and he loved me and how badly he wanted it. And the subject stayed until he either received attention or had to suddenly dip out to another world or offline. Most of our interactions were either voice calls or within VR chat, and as such I don't have any screenshots of interactions other than him editing responses to photos, or a few statements of him saying I'm special and second to no one. I never thought to screenshot at the moment as I truly believed him, and even after some time, I thought it was just me getting stepped over. And I had no plans to ever bring this to light. Now scrolling up in our DM history after our latest call about how much he trusts me and needs me on his side, I do see that he had deleted and edited everything anything that could have possibly been taken in a way not in his favor. Video evidence of him editing a response over a year later. Okay. This was sent on July 30th, 2020, and edited on the 26th of 2021, so over a year later. And he says, I'm feeling pretty good, but I don't think those first two pictures are appropriate. I'm glad! You're the best! Wow! I wonder what this said previously. Huh. Wow. Did he really think he would get out of shit by, like, editing something in such a blatant way? I don't think the photos are appropriate. I'm glad! Yeah, okay. Obviously, him deleting posts. Are you still on? Yeah, vibing. Alright, I'm on my way. I feel bad. Spat is inviting you. Like I said, dear, I'm here for you. Yeah, so obviously there's some deleted messages in there. A post he didn't edit of him being lonely. For full context, the pics in question are clothed ass pics. Running joke of the reason all models are thick. Okay. I hope you are doing okay. Yeah, I was playing a lot of Divinity of the Boys, and time passed fast. I'm so heckin' tired. Hope your day was fun as well. It was pretty good. Now that I'm kaying in bed, kind of lonely. Been looking at your pictures for like 10 minutes. Glad you're having a good day. Glad you still like the pics. Okay, so he's staring at pictures of her clothed ass. Screenshot of his last call where he unfriended me and kicked me from his servers, providing a date. Hey, so this is the 22nd of August, so this is the same day he edited those messages that we saw earlier. Hey, do you have some time? I have something important to speak with you about. Oh, sure, give me 2 minutes to finish making breakfast. KK, okay, at my computer, and then call. That lasted 7 minutes. When I confronted him about what he was doing with other women, at the time, I knew of one other he was visiting, and I thought it was only her. He would immediately get defensive and say that what we had wasn't unique, and how he wasn't lying about anything, as he never said I was the only one he came to for comfort. I understood and started distancing myself as I thought he found someone he was actually interested in and backed off and didn't want to deal with anything anymore. However, he continued to ask for me later and insisted on staying, and I insisted on staying as only a friend because I was still under the mindset that he just didn't have genuine friends. And at the very least, I could offer that. However, when we hung out after that, there was minimal time talking where we would change the subject to be more than friendly. And when I did not return the energy, he suddenly had to leave. So he was acting sexual towards her, and then she tried to change the subject, and he was like, fuck that, I'm out of energy, I gotta leave. There were also times where we were hanging out, and I would bring up Callus Roller-related subjects, and he would outburst and yell that I was using him, saying I was a manipulative person, leaving me in tears. Then, after I insisted that it was just a conversation topic, he would turn around and say that he never meant any of that. His life was stressful, and if I was the only one he could still trust these days, and how horrible of a person he is for yelling at me. The only real conversations we had around this time were him calling to vent concerns and try to get me on his side about various subjects. Flonica, which is the girl he sexually assaulted and we talked about earlier in the stream, was a conversation topic that came up multiple times, where he would talk down the subject and say that she was going to attempt to cancel his career over roleplay drama, and how if anything happened, he needed me to be on his side. At the time, I didn't know anything about Arcadum and Flonica, or Fokana. I don't know how to say it. Sorry, these names are a little hard for me to say. And learning more of their history and how much it was downplayed and summed up as RP drama really makes me feel that Arcadum was trying to paint Flonica in a light that would encourage distance from her. There were also the calls I've had, which consisted of him asking, "Do you think I'm a terrible person?" and him telling me about his guilt, where I'd insist that he made mistakes, but I don't hate him, etc., etc. This was under the understanding that he used me for comfort, and eventually found someone else he was actually interested in. Again, if it was that, I wouldn't have given this any more thought. I would have never thought to write this post. It wouldn't be the first time someone has done this to me. What changed my mind is learning that this has happened, and worse, for so many more women who experience the same things around the same time. Over 10 women have come forward as being emotionally manipulated and otherwise used by Arcadum, some being at the same time, and that's the only women I'm aware of. Even if Arcadum never does this again, damage has been done to so many of these women, and my heart aches for them hearing some of the recordings and readings and reading what happened to them. I can understand and forgive genuine mistakes, but I cannot, in good faith, call something that has happened more than 10 times an honest mistake. This was not a one-off. I'm in need of emotional support and going to coworkers. This is something Arcadum has done to too many women for too long without awareness. Please don't just read my post and hear what others have experienced. And as upsetting as some of the audio is, it is important to hear and learn and come to your own conclusions about Arcadum. Thank you for reading. So we have listened to a lot of those. And right now, that is the 9th person that we have read a twit longer from in regards to Arcadum. 9. And these were the original 9 I found out about. But there's more. There is actually more. Like from Remy. Pretty sure this is one we haven't read. This might be one we've read. No, this is a new one. Number 10! Number 10. We are on number 10. Ugh. Whew. I'm glad these ones are much shorter than the other ones. Because this is so fucked up. Personal experience with Arcadum. Hey, just gonna try and keep this as short as possible. Despite sitting on these thoughts for a very long time, I never really put so much thought into what I'd write here. I knew shortly after everything I detailed out here happened that a day like this would come, but I really did not think it would happen so soon. As a foreword, I don't have a lot of screenshots to post because Arcadum was insistent that we talk primarily in voice chats or in VR, which I assume now was likely to stall something like this happening. I have roleplayed a lot in a couple of communities, primarily Purple Lotus in VR, No Pixel and GTA RP. Both of these places are where I met. I had sort of met Arcadum from since a lot of mutual friends passed through these channels. Eventually, as the start of Callous Row Season 2 drew near, I was watching some of Arcadum's streams to see what it was about. He recognized me in chat and asked if I was looking to join, and of course I was ecstatic. To join Arcadum RP? Hell yeah, I was all about that. We had sent back and forth DMs about roleplay a bit on occasion, and we'd have some personal words when either of us were having a tough day. From here on, though, things started to go in an odd direction, and I accused a lot of actions as someone going through a hard time. It first started when Arcadum told me that he was having relationship issues. This is such a fucking common theme. With his longtime girlfriend. And he was starting to feel awful being around her in the same house. That she was abusive physically and mentally to him, among many other things. Naturally, after hearing his many stories about things like paying for WinRAR and thinking he was a human incapable of putting someone in an awful position, I took him at his word. Yeah, who fucking pays for WinRAR? What the fuck? He made some romantic advances, but I made it clear that I wasn't into men, and I brushed off his attempts as aforementioned, someone in a dark place just looking for some comfort. So now he's going after lesbians. What the fuck? Or asexual people. After about a week of Arcadum making advances on me, oh my god, still? She's lesbian! She doesn't like you! She doesn't want your cock! Alright. And me being uncomfortable by it, I tried to keep steering the conversation towards DSD and Callous Row, so I could be there as a friend and chat with him about something I was more comfortable talking with. During one of our voice calls, he was sharing a screen and reviewing a VOD of the offline TV Friends games while he chatted about D&D. That's what I assume OTV is usually in the streamer community. OTV means offline TV, which is a group with Skara, Pokimane, formerly Fedmeister. There was a whole drama with that. Yvonne, a bunch of other people, or Yvonne. Disguised Toast. That's what I assume she's talking about. It might not be that, but... at one point, almost out of nowhere, he showed me his Twitter creator dashboard. It felt extremely awkward and like he was trying to make me more interested in him based on how much he was making. It went further on to him saying he might have a spot for me in a D&D game, which I also felt was probably just me being lured in, but hey, I guess it worked. Another day passes, and he asks me if I want to come hang out in VR. So I agree, especially since there's a couple other people around. Arcadum talks more about his money, and while we're hanging out, describes sending huge amounts of money in real time to some of his friends while we're hanging out. Felt pretty awkward, but I brushed it off. Another warning. Things from here get slightly graphic, so here we go. Not more than a couple days after the last encounter, everything reached its pinnacle. I had pretty much kept everything to myself and kept trying to convince myself Arcadum was a genuinely good guy, and this was just his confusion and him needing someone around while he went through a rough time. He asked if we could hang out again, and I said sure. So we start up a voice call. Before we continue, I would like to shout out Laughing Demon for the $5, Arcadum. I don't know. Like, his name looks like arcade and dumb. So it's just like Arcadum. I keep adding like an I in there. I don't know. I'm really bad at reading usernames, guys. But thank you for the $5. I hope I don't offend any of these people by reading their usernames wrong. Well, I don't care if Arcadum is offended, but any of these other people, I'm just I'm a little bad at reading names, which sucks because it's my job. Starts off normal, and we're talking about my Callus Row character. At some point after prodding, he starts talking about how the whole situation makes him feel like less of a man. And it's really getting him sexually frustrated. He tells me he can't really focus because he feels like he needs to get off. I kind of skirt around the topic and basically just tell him I feel bad for him and try to move on, but he really keeps pushing the subject. He asked me if it was okay with him masturbating while he was in call with me and if I could help him. Number one, telling someone you need to jerk off is just weird. But number two, wanting to do it in the Discord call and have them help them? Just fucking finish the call with her, don't mention masturbating at all, and then right after, jack off to a porn star. Porn stars exist for a reason. I'm losing my voice. Porn stars exist for a reason, man. Porn exists for a reason. Jesus. Wasn't he in the last stream, we talked about him being subscribed to an OnlyFans as well. Just jerk off on OnlyFans. Fuck your fiance that you're living with. Like, come on. Just do... There's so many other ways of dealing with this. I was extremely uncomfortable, but things added up. Feeling pressured and like he was holding money and a spot in a DMD game over my head, wanting to genuinely be there for someone I thought cared, and being my friend, not knowing what to say, not knowing how to say no in the moment because of how overwhelmingly awkward I felt, I agreed to let him do it. It was extremely painful for me and beyond awkward because of the combination of just the situation and me sexually. I really had no idea what to do, and yet he pushed even further. He asking me to help him out, which I told him I wasn't comfortable with. But after some pressuring, I agreed to meet in the middle and screen share a not safe for work picture of myself in a voice call, thinking that it would be safer because at the very least, he wouldn't be able to download the picture and keep it / use it for himself. Well, there's also screenshotting. Thank you for the $10, Cassidy Miller. I gotta go back and watch previous videos, but here's money. Thank you for documenting all of this. Okay, thank you for the support. Alright. Jeez. She was lesbian, dude. She's lesbian. Why? Why? Like, there's so many issues on so many levels and so many different directions with this encounter. But Jesus, man. Once he finished himself off, he said he was tired and just kind of wrapped up our voice call. He also stopped talking to me pretty much entirely after this. I still feel extremely awkward and sad every time I see his name mentioned, every time my friends use his name, every time someone spams his emotes in my chat, having to see him in Callus Row, it doesn't end. I feel the shame and sadness from these encounters almost daily, and I don't know if there will be a day I don't. I'm open to any questions, and to any others posting about this. I'm here if you need a place to vent or relate. Well, that's it, gamers. Thanks. Thank you if you made it this far, I suppose. Thank you for the $5, Keith. Could you imagine Christian and this guy going to jail together? Oh my god. That'd be crazy. Alright, so that is Remy's encounter. Now we have Jade's. Alright. We have another fully text one, no receipts. Hi, pals. Tonight is going to be a weird night for me, I guess. I spent the whole day in bed. It was the first day in a long time I've done this. I woke up around 10 a.m. and just stayed there. While I had no idea things were coming out about anything. I just had a fucking awful feeling all day. Crying, not eating, major depressive symptoms. I woke up like that. It was somewhat unexplainable. I chalked it up to me feeling bad about not streaming in a few days. Without scaring anyone, I was a little suicidal today. Again, I haven't read anything, but I have a feeling, but I was feeling this way automatically I'm beginning to understand why. Sorry, I've been reading a long time. I'm getting a little out of it. I'm gonna take a 2 to 3 minute break. Just drink some water. Maybe talk with you guys and chat a little bit. We are on the 11th allegation of I don't know how many. People are saying there were 21. Last night people were saying there were 16 and then 18. I'm so freaking cringy. I'm stuck half an hour ago because I gotta pause and keep decringing. Well, it'll probably be a while until you hear this Sly Coco, but or Shy Coco, but yeah, I feel that, man. I believe these allegations, but this one's starting to feel so the force is so cringe. Yeah, I mean, different girls are in different emotional states and giving experiences from different time frames. So we're gonna get kind of a wide variety of how people type this out. Some are gonna be more professional. Some are gonna be more emotional. But yeah. I think all of these people are doing a pretty good job explaining their stories. Chris took advantage of his dementia-ridden mother, but Arcadum has a higher victim count. Yeah, I would say Chris Tran is more depraved, or she's more depraved, but Arcadum can do more damage to more people because he's more socially more experienced than Chris Chan. So he can, and he's like he can actually legitimately manipulate people, whereas like Chris Chan can only manipulate his dementia-ridden mother. Sorry, I used the wrong pronouns. It's just force of habit because a lot of like Chris Chan content I've watched just from before they transitioned, so it's kind of like stuck in my mind that they're he. Like with trans people, it's really easy for me to use the proper pronouns when like I started meeting them after they transitioned. But if I like knew them or heard of them for a significant amount of time prior to transition, I try my best, but sometimes like it slips out like the wrong pronoun because it's just really ingrained in me. Let's continue. I haven't read everything yet. It's again going to be weird. Long night of me catching up. Yeah, all these girls have to read each other's statements. It's a lot. Before I do that, I think it's necessary to tell my side as well. This is the first time I heard about Arcadum, as when I started participating in the Golden Gator RP group on Twitch, it was in this community's Discord that I had seen his name, and he was clearly a good friend to my good friends. I realized it might be some time before I got the chance to talk to the guy, considering he seemed to be a big honcho, and somebody else respected in the RP scene. I left it at that and admired from a distance. Uh-oh, VR chat. I met Arcadum a few months later. I had been streaming on Twitch for about 7 months and had established myself as a transgendered VR chat streamer who could roleplay as well. who could roleplay well, and who could perform a variety of different voices. A close friend of mine in the community told me about Callus Row, and I was initially interested in that when I first talked to him. Our meeting was rather, what is that word? Innocuous? INNOCUS. Google. Not harmful or offensive. Okay. Momo was there. That's someone else we were talking about earlier. I believe it's the second one we ever read out. Sitting on his shoulders and in an after-party lobby alley, and I walked up to them and introduced myself. I assume this is all in VR chat right now. I give him the elevator pitch, and that was that. He seemed pleased to have somebody else interested in Callus Row, and he said to apply on the website. The weeks following, I became heavily involved in Golden Gators RP, and I never decided to apply. I felt I was more needed in the lobby than in Callus Row. Arcadum fell out of memory, and all he became was another VR chat friend. One night I was talking to some friends in a random world. I had myself on green, so any of my VR chats could join. Well, any of my VR chat friends could join. While I was relaxing, I heard one of the people I was with go, "Oh shit, Arcadum's here." I turned around to see him, and I walked up and asked him what was up. I did my insecure spiel about how it was boring here, and how I wasn't doing anything very interesting, and he said that's okay. Then he said, "I need to talk to you." Arcadum seemed really upset. Conversational, but definitely distant and clearly bothered by something. I asked him what was up as normally as I could, because I couldn't quite process why Arcadum, this big Twitch streamer who I really looked up to, decided to randomly join off of me and asked to talk to me after I hadn't seen him in a couple months. And he had only talked to me once. Jades, I need to know something. Sure, what's up? I just dropped my merch line, and today I made $300,000. I'm blowing up. That's a lot of fucking money. Holy shit. What the fuck? He made $300K off merch in one day? Wow. Holy shit. I don't think I've ever even made $300K in the total of me ever doing YouTube, or even half of that. Jesus. Now, I've made a pretty decent amount of money on this channel, but nowhere close to that. And that's in one day. I need to know if you're going to treat me differently now because of this. Hearing this broke my heart a bit. Hearing this guy I barely know coming to me and asking whether I'd still be genuine to him after he gets more popular, I felt really sincerely fucking bad for him for even having to ask that to anyone, let alone Jades, a small-time VR chat streamer, and I instantly realized how isolating that can be. Of course I will, Arcadum. This was the start of our very secretive friendship/relationship that I was led to believe was entirely and uniquely my own. The next day, Arcadum joined on me again. This time around, he was in much better spirits, but clearly needed something from me. Can we go elsewhere? Arcadum asked. I dropped a portal to my world. This is like some Rick and Morty dating shit, dude. It's just like, let's BTFO, let's GTFO, let's get out of here and go to a different world to talk. Portal gun. I don't know. This VR thing is a little foreign to me, as I've said many times. Not VR itself, but the VR chat in particular. Alright. Arcadum told me that he was lonely. I asked him about his personal life, and he said he didn't have anyone to celebrate his financial and relevance victories on Twitch with. He kept saying over and over how he has urges as a man and needed to relax. Thought this blew up. Throughout this blow up, I quickly understood what this meant and why he was coming to me. But rather than being creeped out by this, as I would have been for literally anyone else, I was a bit starstruck. He was, after all, Arcadum. Okay, well, have you tried doing anything in VR chat with other girls, I asked? No, never. I've always known about it, but I don't know the first thing about ERP. I giggled. Well, okay. Do you have anyone close to you that might be able to walk you through things, I asked. No. I had such a good day today and nobody to share this excitement with. It's making me so angry. Honestly, I just had a Felicia Day on one of my campaigns. Do you realize how big this is, Jadis? I asked him enough before understanding he was not going anywhere. I finally said, I've done ERP before, would you like me to show you the ropes? Arcadum looked at me and very sheepishly said, you'd do that for me? The next few months I was essentially booty called for Arcadum on Discord on and off. He would phrase his invites as innocently as possible, telling me he'd like to talk in VR chat in full body at 11 p.m. So full body is when I guess you can buy like full body VR suits, so like it doesn't just simulate like where your hands are and where your head is, but you know, your full body. I've never used one of those, but I think that's what it is. The nights we did things, he made me feel like I was earning something from him. He'd make comments like, you know that as a dungeon master, I pull the strings in a game. The same rules apply to Twitch, Jadis. I work the same way. He told me how he'd help pay for my rent and potentially even help me with surgeries should I need that. Citing how he'd done that before with his ex-transgendered roommate. I started to think he was a chaser, or strictly interested in me because I was transgender. He told me how he would put me in one of his dungeons. He told me about how he would put me in one of his Dungeons and Dragons campaigns right after asking to see me. I was on his hook. I felt like I owed him for future things that hadn't even happened yet. Throughout the entire process of all our meetups, Arcadum would first ask me to swear I would keep my discretion. There are people in my circles that I've had in campaigns that got cancelled. I don't want to get cancelled. Months went by without hearing from him. The other day, Arcadum requested off me, Hi Jadis, hi Arcadum. He was here to do what he's always done. I put on my sexy act as best as I could for him, because I didn't want to disappoint him, but something was different this time. He seemed really, really off. I told Arcadum that I needed to go to sleep. He told me his VR was broken, and it'd be a couple days before he got it back. I told him to hit me up when he got it. I didn't really want to do anything while he was in desktop. I logged off and immediately got a Discord message. Jadis, I need to call you. We get in a Discord call and he tells me he wants to rescind his advances on me. He didn't like the thought of losing me and just wanted to stay friends. This was not the first time something like this was said to me by him. I brushed it off and assured him I'd love to be his friend and continue our little arrangement. Well, Jadis, I need your word. Please do not tell anybody about this. I won't tell Arcadum. I won't tell. And that's the end of the Twit Longer. Well. Okay. I guess you just told everyone. All right. Pretty sure Naomi has a lot of people's stories, cries, momos, reds, Uzus, Remius, Jades, Chica. Okay, here's some new ones. You got Chica's story. My experience as an admin with Arcadum. Naomi's third's the most complete. Okay, I'll use her for the rest of these. Also, thank you to all these people, or all these victims who have spoken out and are also sharing other people's stories in the Twitter thread, because it would have been like really hard to find them without this. So, thank you to people like Naomi and the other girls for sharing each other's stories. My experience as an admin with Arcadum. Hi everyone, my name is Chica. I was an admin on his server. I was emotionally abused, gaslit, and hurt, etc. We had a complaint about the following about Betty Bulge. The complaint is below. Rosalie sent 5. This sociopath DM does not reflect the D&D community. Oh yeah, Dungeon Master. The sociopath Dungeon Master does not reflect the D&D community. What a waste of talent. As a Dungeon Master, I'm disgusted at how he's abused his influence and role. Shameless. Thank you for the $5, and yeah, I would definitely tell people in the chat to not use this person as a example of what all dungeon masters are like in the D&D community, as well as people in the VR chat community, because I feel like, specifically for the VR chat stuff, with all this weird sexual stuff going on in it, it's getting a bad name. And I know lots of people or a couple people who use VR chat a lot, and they don't do sexual stuff in it at all. It's just like a nice place for people to chat. Definitely pro VR chat, but the way Arcadum is using it is not appropriate at all. But if it's consensual, I mean, I guess you can be sexy on VR chat, but yeah. Anyways, the complaint about Betty the Bulge read as follows. First, in Wheel and Woe, episode 6, there are some concerns regarding Arcadum negatively making transphobic remarks about trans women. Later in streams, he attempts to reframe his remarks, saying he was actually commenting on a person performing in drag, but the damage is significant. Link to the VOD below are timestamps. Okay, so we have a Twitch VOD here that we're going to check out with specific timestamps. Apparently there are like 18 alligator. Yeah, I've heard people say 20 as well. Okay, the first timestamp is 58 seconds.
Waiters keep coming up to me and saying,
Hail,
"Are you
traveler."
waiting for someone?" And I'm like, "No." And then
Oh,
they're like,
no!
"Oh." And I was like, "Should I be?" And they're like, "Oh no, it's
Yeah.
okay." But then
Hail.
every single person was like sitting down with their families, and I was happy. I just wanted some pancakes, man. And then they kept coming up to me and saying, "Are you waiting for someone?" Like 3 different waiters came up to me and asked.
What?
I was like, "No,
You have to
sorry."
rub it in.
I hate it when, you know what I hate it? When you're one person going out to dinner and they're like, oh, you could sit at the bar. And I'm like, bitch, I want a 2-top. Give me the 2-top. I want some room to spread out. I don't want some rando guy gonna side up and ask me about my pasta. I need to be alone.
Lordy.
I like
I
sitting
like
at
your
the bar.
penne.
Hail, travelers.
Hail,
Hello.
traveler.
Hey,
Hail!
Hail.
Greetings. Salutations.
Greetings.
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 Oh, man.
what is?
You
How is
ready?
that penne? Wait,
Yeah.
there's no
Ready.
hurricane.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm at the wrong area. I'm at the area where
Are
we
you?
collected
Or
the
we
crystals.
fought. Oh, yeah, we're all there, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I am confused on why she timestamped that. Intro and dialogue setup. Okay, I didn't get the relevance of that timestamp. Let's go to the next one. 1 hour and 1 minute.
Phones.
There's
also not phones.
Okay, Betty. So whenever we leave this place, how am I gonna find you so we can go grab a little drinky?
Tell you what, why don't you go to the nearest river with your wang out, and I'll come looking for you.
So you want me to go to a river with my?
Okay, so this is happening. So they're role playing right now, right? And I guess he's talking to. Okay, Betty the Bulge is a transgender character, I would assume. And the joke is that she has a cock. And he's making transgender jokes with Betty the Bulge.
Penis out.
What's your penis? Yes.
And then
Your-
you're gonna come over.
Your flesh whistle? Your devil's clarinet?
Do you wanna head over together right now, or do you wanna
No,
stay in
I'm
this
working.
shithole? Okay.
Now
Alright.
fuck off over there till it's time.
Okay.
I can't do this.
All right, and Betty will lean down and make a perception check, Barbie.
I should make a perception check.
Yep.
Oh, can I make a attraction check?
Uh-huh.
Nothing.
Oh
All
no.
right.
Ooh.
You notice that she has a rather large bulge in her pants.
My days. Oh my days! I'm sorry, Betty. I don't think we can do this.
Look at him running away.
Oh my.
I like the hunt.
Oh my days. Okay, guys, keep going. What?
So much. Oh god.
I know it wasn't revealed to us yet, but her title is Betty
Betty
the
the
Bulge.
Bulge.
Yeah, but it's Betty though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
I love Betty.
Oh, you know what? Oh, no, okay, keep going.
Were you gonna say I'm up for a job?
I was gonna flirt with you, Manny.
Oh.
No, you can't. You can only do it with Felicia. Remember?
Okay, I think that's it. Okay, next timestamp is 131.
It's already.
No.
I'd hate to hurt you, but
Oh no, I'm right by the bulge.
look at him scamper
Let's
away.
not- Jesus.
Let's go down.
You're
Let's
scared
do
of
it.
knowledge?
I love Betty.
All right. Well, and that's
But
the
do you
case.
reckon the bulge is maybe just a gun and not a dick?
Well, there are no guns in this world, so.
Is it like a? Oh, you know what? Can I do a perception? Oh wait, I already
No, you don't. You don't want to do a perception.
You can.
Okay, so basically, that guy like moved away from Betty. Then the next timestamp is literally like.
You can do a perception if you wish.
You can do a perception check.
Oh no.
did. Okay.
You-
Okay. Is it bad? Oh, nice.
All right.
Oh, that's a good perception.
All
check.
right.
Barbie, you take a perception check on the bulge and stare at it. You're starting to flatter me a little bit. I'm getting red in the cheeks.
My days.
Oh.
It is. Okay.
That's it.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick away from the others.
Yeah, what's up?
You ever make love to a man?
Oh no, get away from me, cunt.
Nothing wrong.
Honest question. Ugh. Enough of this! What do you want to do, boss? I do not wish for blood to be spilled, but we were here first.
Okay. I'm never playing D&D in my whole fucking life. I am never playing D&D. That was just... Yeah, I'm not a fan of this game. No offense to other people that play it. Alright. The conversation we just listened to, Betty asks Barbie, "You ever make love to a man?" Which at its best could be an explanation that Betty identifies as a man, and at worst relays on the transphobic discourse that trans men or trans women are really men, and they trick cis men with their feminine names / clothes. I perceived this as the punchline to an ongoing joke that Barbie was showing sexual interest in a woman with a penis. Overall, multiple individuals have tried to let him know of his issues and have ignored people who are professionals in LGBTQ plus issue and equality. Two of them has a master's in gender studies or sociology, while another has a PhD in sociology. I was yelled at for 30 plus minutes about how I was wrong and how my degree doesn't matter, PhD in sociology with gender certificate, and how I was manipulated. I'm going to refer to Naomi talking about the letter that was posted on Reddit. He yelled at me multiple times asking who they were. I know them. I kept their identities a secret because I know he was going to witch hunt and yell at them. He called them out on stream, causing my friend to cry. Why the heck would I expose my friends? I wanted to stay because I wanted to protect the staff who worked with me because I didn't want them to be abused, to be yelled out for hours at a time. He fired me because I started a new D&D Living World community. I got blasted by those in his community who agreed with him. People calling me an ice queen, calling me a bitch or a dominating woman. I cried on my 10th anniversary with my then fiancé by people who worked with him, calling me power hungry. I left dates and spending time with my husband just so I could fix fires in the server due to XYZ. I have PTSD from playing D&D, having nightmares about Arcadum yelling at me, working with them. I shouldn't feel this way. I have a PhD with a wonderful husband, job, friends, and dog. I quit the webcomics because I can't continue to be abused, which I feel bad for the team, but I had to for myself. I wanted to make a community in the hopes that we didn't have to be abused or I have to be in it to protect people. I have so much more to say, but I want to post my story. If you want clarification, please, or me to provide more details, please let me know. So, like, I definitely sympathize with the aggression and bad behavior coming from Arcadum, especially with the previous stories. But personally, now I don't. Maybe she'll explain more about the story that I don't know. But personally, I think saying you got PTSD from playing D&D is a little bit of an extreme reaction, and a little bit of a disservice to people who actually have post-traumatic stress disorder. And no doubt, you can say it's trauma. I think the word trauma would be better here, but PTSD is actually, a serious, diagnosis. And maybe, she does have PTSD from this. I'm not sure, but, I don't know. I feel like this was a bit of an extreme word to use. But, again, there could be more that I don't know. But that is Chica's story. I'm gonna see if she said anything more on her Twitter to clarify. I mean, she does have a PhD, so she probably does know, what PTSD entails. Oh, I'm seeing her retweet 2 twit-longers that I haven't read yet. Ooh. Alright. We'll just leave that one where it is. And read the next one. I don't mean to diminish anyone's story. A lot of that was well written, but and like transphobic remarks are really bad, but I don't know about the PTSD, but you know, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to I'm here to judge Arcadum, but I'm not here to judge the stories. I'm just here to just read them. So next we have Quionon. My own experience with Arcadum. I used to know Arcadum for a long time, since Team 5 existed, if you know that VR chat group, and he has always been nice to me, even if I was a mute and most people ignored me. Time passed and he became super famous with his D&D streams. One day I sent him just a nice and long DM telling him how he was amazing by the things he did and how far he went, and to not forget about his old friends. He was nice to that, thanked me, and said we should hang out. He would hang out with me in VR chat when he has time. After that, some weird things happened. It happened like 2 or 3 times, but it was mostly the same thing. One of those, I was in VR chat. I get an invite from him and I accept it. I meet him in the movie world, and he tells me that he just wants to hang out and watch a movie because he was lonely and no one joins him. I tell him that I don't really watch movies anymore in VR chat, and if we could just hang out instead, and I remember he was telling me about multiple things. His real life relationship going really bad, his wife leaving him, how stressed he was for being so popular and at the top of Twitch, his wife telling him he was a pig, people in the streaming community doing bad things to him, and everything going bad for him. All of this almost crying. Of course, this made me feel really bad for him, and I wanted to console him. I told him he was amazing from all the things he did, he is not a pig, and he has always been a good person, mentioning how he was always nice to me even when no one cared about mutes. I hugged him and said that if I could do anything to help, I would, and that he could always come hang out with the Golden Gator group to make more friends if he was lonely. I gave him advices on how to get over their past relationships as a friend. Then I think he just continued talking about his sexual frustration and how he would need sexual relief, to not feel ugly and like a pig, and that he needs to release all the stresses that he had been accumulating from being so popular. So being popular causes you to be super horny. That hasn't been my experience, but okay. That became instantly weird because I started to realize what he actually wanted from me, so I politely said that I couldn't help him in that way. That I mostly only do things in relationships, but I can still help him as a friend for any other things. Oh, by the way, he was talking, and I was replying on Discord with messages. He believed he continued talking about how he just needed something to relieve the stress that he have, and then mentioned how he saw a lot of mutes doing crazy things in private lobbies. I'm not going into details, but I remember him going on a tangent talking about something, and then at the end, just saying, I just want to come. I just want to come! Please! Let me come! What the fuck is he talking about? I just want to come. Ah, god damn it. Fuck all this talking. I just want to come. That is what really stunned me. A person that I truly admired greatly just completely changed in my eyes. Then he then apologized and asked me if he was weird, and I said no, but mostly because I was afraid of anything that could happen after that point. And I repeated that I couldn't help him in that way, and that I was sorry myself. After that, I think he just said he needed to go, and that's how it ended. This might have been a bit confusing to read, and I'm sorry, but it happened back in January, and it was hard to remember everything perfectly. To think that the exact same experience happened to a lot of others is just mind-blowing. And if my personal experience can help anyone, then it's worth enough to post it. Definitely a shorter one. Luckily, this girl wasn't as, traumatized by Arcadum as the other people, but definitely gives some important context. Thank you for sharing your story. Next, we have Ashley's story with Arcadum. Alright. I don't even know what number we're on for allegations, honestly. I'm losing track. Does anybody know? It has to be like 14 or something like that. I don't know. Okay. Well, didn't think I'd be here doing this today. My story is nowhere near anyone else's in the groups as far as mistreatment of me. I just thought I'd share the pieces that align to the other posts of what Arcadum has been doing behind the scenes, and of course, Arcadum lied to me as well. No surprise there. So for all the laughs, Arcadum and I shared and toasts to his successes, and I'll be there for yous, ended up coming down to him wanting my vote in the upcoming Outfall Storm at all costs, or Fallout Storm at all costs. Probably because I was one of those he was normal with. That Mexican kid sent $5 saying, "Hi, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate it." She continues by saying, "I really, really hate going behind what I thought was my friend's back and divulging private interactions. Hopefully my record will show that. But this one deserves a singular exception. I don't ever want to be here again. Steer, my husband, and I met Arcadum a few years back, while Steer was playing Overwatch. Steer was amused by Arcadum's antics in the game, and they got to talking and found out that Arcadum was a professional D&D dungeon master. Steer had an interest in getting to learn D&D, and so was I. So we played in some offline games together. I drew some artwork for Arcadum early on, and eventually made his channel emotes. Arcadum always paid what I asked, and was very good, enthusiastic client. So most of our interaction was around that and the games. Meanwhile, Steer was playing in a lot of the streamed games as well. I won't speak for Steer's experience, but Steer and I do a lot of activities together online as far as playing D&D and streaming, so we were never really apart while interacting with Arcadum besides very vanilla business talk." Okay. Steer being around both of us a lot may be why I wasn't targeted in that way. Of course, Arcadum's own marriage didn't stop him, but after reading everything, I'm starting to think it was less about respecting our relationship, and more about a 6'2" man in the way who could pull him to the ground if he tried to do anything to me, and who didn't have any financial ties to him. Of course, I have financial ties to him in my artwork, but I'll still be able to get commissions elsewhere somehow, or elsewhere now. I need a drink of water. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna take like a 1 to 2 minute break. Yeah, I am staying hydrated. Alright. Arcadum did tell the stories I read in the other accounts about his unhappy marriage, but not with the I'm so undesirable angle. More like how unreasonable Tiff, I found out today she's not his wife, was all the time. It's clear from the pattern in the others that he was changing his stories around depending on who he was telling. At one time he mentioned that he used to play games with women's hearts, and nowadays felt terrible about it. I filed that one one away under. I filed that one away under. Well, now he's exclusive with one woman, so that should fix that problem. Yeah, dyslexia is OP. Bzz, wrong as I can be. RPing with his character romantically in Steer's streamed D&D game, Mairead feels gross now. Oh, this is giving me flashbacks to Pro Jared when he started being sexual with Holly's character in the D&D game, and that's how he ended up cheating on his wife. Oh my god. Guys, if you're in a relationship with someone who plays D&D, be careful. Be careful out there. Chad, of course, made jokes about how we were hitting on each other in front of Seer. But it was in character, and I actually thought he acted in a pretty mature fashion about it at the time. In the past few days, Arcadum's obviously been doing damage control. On the 30th, he called me up, and he described the situation that he had been dating multiple women, and had been thrown out of his house by Tiff, leaving him without a place to go. Although I rolled my eyes and was having difficulty fathoming multiple people knowingly cheating on his wife with him, I weirdly presumed that they must have been sort of quiet out of the spotlight members on the edges of his community. I weirdly presumed that they must have been sort of quiet out of the spotlight members on the edges of his community, so people who aren't as central to his community. Perhaps because the alternative in my mind, dating the public-facing women that everyone knew of, was fucked and dumb. So dumb, it was visible from space. That world-ending brand of dumb. I didn't think he had the ego to think he'd get away with it. I found... I'm trying to find... Okay. I found out that he was only I found out that he only maybe temporarily dated one of them before she backed off and got weirded out. And the rest he just harassed and then removed them as a result of his own provisions towards them. Claiming Tiff forced him to. And even if she did, he essentially chose to sully the reputations and remove women who did nothing other than exist and help him. I didn't know what in Christ he was smoking to think that he could, in one fell stroke, remove all of these pillars of his community and go on streaming his games like nothing happened. Turns out that women's contributions fucking matter, and people care if they are disappeared from a collective. Who knew? He told Seer and I that there were rumors that he had SA'd someone. He used the R word, which I found hard to picture, or didn't want to picture. And it turns out that wasn't even the accusation at all. He was trying to make it sound more ridiculous. He also said there was intercourse, which I didn't read about in anyone's story, so that's a big head scratcher. He said that her accusation was false and that he had messages to prove it. I believed in him in the moment. He made it sound like he was in the process of carrying his stuff out the door during the call. But all of the women that he went after put together a really clear image that aligned with all the red flags in mine. So I'm convinced now and feel fucking sleazy for offering him comforting words in the moment. I told him to not confront any accusers in text form that they could screenshot later, and to stop with the vague Twitter posts. Moronic, I know. I salute the bravery of the woman who came forward and put an end to his cover. I've certainly saved other women in the future. You've certainly saved other women in the future, and even though the thought of that won't undo the damage done to you, it's no small feat. I completely agree with that. It's easy to want to root for the guy that has come out with trauma to be a success. That has come out of trauma to be a success, or isn't loved at home, or is charismatic and talented at what he does. I'm still rooting for him in the way that he can improve with therapy. Not a bad thing or an insult. Therapy saves lives. Cut off this Tiff hates me face down in the dirt routine, and get his hands on a blow-up doll to make him feel like a man without leaving gaping psychic wounds in real people who cared for him. And to Tiff, if she ever reads this, this is one constant thread in his stories. The one constant thread in his stories was always that you were the crazy one, the cold one, his jailer, throws fits because he didn't support your stream enough, and weed makes you crazy and you being jealous of his success. Tiff's always been kind to me, so I hope she'll be kind to herself and relieve herself from the duty of being his imaginary harpy sympathy scapegoat. I keep telling Seer I'm sorry for what his cheerful, supportive, years-long friend turned out to be under the surface, and I have the urge to tell other people I'm not sorry that I promoted Arcadum through my work. That's what happens when the violator doesn't take responsibility. Others rush in to fill that void. Seer invested a lot emotionally in Arcadum from what I witnessed, and wasted a lot of advice on him as well. Although Seer's always been very reserved and averse to drama, Seer didn't sleep one bit the night this came out, going over past interactions with new information like I did. I'm pissed at what has been done to Seer, my best friend, who, like many in the story, did nothing wrong and was friends with a fiction. And to Jeremy, which is Arcadum, you can write characters that are good and noble beings. You know what it looks like. You can't just look it. You have to live it. To have friends and not pawns. You even named your fictional word after Latin word for truth, for God's sake. There is no one that will escape from this unscathed. Not your players, not your artists, not your musicians, not your editors, not your Callous Row producers, not your community managers, not people you've introduced D&D to, away with much less trauma than others. Wait, whoa. I skipped a line. Not your friends who treat you with extreme kindness, only to be cut off like an infection. I may have gotten away with much less trauma than others, but I mourn the people I thought of you as. I'm wondering how much of your past interactions were clouded by some kind of internal duper's delight when I didn't question your stories about Tiff, or when I truly believed that your goal with your community was simply to spread the love of D&D far and wide, when you were really just creating a predator playground for yourself. This guy sounds bad. You can say that again, Juggle. Jeez. All right. Sorry, I've just been talking a lot, so not meaning to, diminish the story. I'm just, there's just a lot to read. Now we have her husband or friend, I think it's her husband, Seer. If you're unsure what this is about, there's a Reddit thread. Oh, and it has links to everything. Wait. Okay, what do we have here? Ashley, Circa, Crystals, we still need to do Crystals. Flonica, Jades, Kelly, Laura, Momo. Oblivious, we haven't done Oblivious. We haven't done Sketchu. We haven't read Psy. Okay, so we have a couple more. God damn. Alright. Yeah, Seer is a male, or Steer is a male. Fuck. I want to finish all of this tonight. And obviously we have time. It's only 6 p.m. PST. But my voice is fucking dying! God damn. Fuck. I have never seen someone get exposed for this long. How much time have we done this total? So the first stream was about 3 hours, and it crashed, and I did like another hour and a half. Closest to 5 hours. Now we're almost 3 hours into this, so we've almost done 8 hours! Almost 8 hours of reading allegations, and we have like 5 more to go, or like about. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many we have left. Let me count them on the Reddit. We have 1. Did we do Lyra? Yeah, we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. We have 5 left. And we've covered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 so far. 14 we have. Okay, so there's 19. There's 19 Twitlongers. And I know some other people have said stuff too, like Devin Nash, who used to work with him, said some things. You know, not actual victims in the situation, but people who are like, you know, friends with him. So we have like, we've read so far 14 Twitlongers. Alright. You're doing great. Take a break if you need to. I think this is important. Make sure you get through Steer's testimony for sure. Male perspective. Don't want to push you too hard. True. But Black is training. You sound like corpse husband. Yeah. I'm just going to take a maybe like 5-minute break. If you guys need to get something to eat, get something to drink, or whatever, feel free to now. I'm just going to take a bit of a break, but for those of you who are still here, I'll just talk and chat a bit. Just going to check my Twitter. $5 from Polis. Here's something to get you through the rest of the Twitlongers. Hoping it helps, man. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Everyone's thirsting for me. Yeah, I guess. Romance novel, true. We still have 600 people here. That's pretty cool. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the donations as well. I know this stream won't be like my most popular thing in the world. But yeah. Canadians be like, eh. Yeah, exactly. This is fun, though. I mean, you know, it's not always fun to hear these, like, horrible stories. So I'm not, like, saying, like, the stories are funny, but, like, I do genuinely enjoy, like, hanging out with you guys and chatting. I don't stream that often, so it's pretty nice. Well, I do stream often on my other channel, Boblack's Beta, but not usually to an audience this big, so, 650 watching, only 400 likes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I might cut this up into something. I'm not sure. There's just like a lot of yeah, for some reason my my PC just like disconnects and reconnects my USB stuff real quick. I don't know why. When are you gonna stream on Roblox Beta again? Probably sometime this week. You know, I've been busy with this, so. First time hanging out, dude, having a good time. I'm glad. I mean, it's not for everybody, but I'm glad you guys are having a good time. And yeah, we can I don't know if I should. It's gonna be hard to like edit this into like a summary because there's just so much to go over, but I could like edit it into a highlights and show like kind of like the more silly moments of it. Like me reacting to him saying only 17% of people are his friends after D&D and stuff like that. I think that can make for like a nice fun little video. But it's gonna take a lot of editing. Streams are always cozy. Well, I'm glad, you know. Here was the stream yesterday, missed half of this one today because I've been busy. Well, you know, thanks for joining, and I'm pretty sure we can get like, even if you guys haven't watched all of the stream, you know, I'm sure through all of these statements you can kind of get an idea of what's going on, since a lot of stuff is like reiterated throughout all of the Twitlongers. So hopefully if you miss a couple hours of like this whole like streaming marathon, you won't miss out on everything, you know? Or you won't be missing out on much, I guess. Alright. If you ever make a normal Twitter versus on him, do it in parts. Like, yeah. I don't think I'd do. If I were to make a video and put it into parts, if I were to like condense all of this down, I might do one part per allegation, but then there'd be like 15 videos. I don't know. Like, I'm still really deciding how to like edit this down and what I will do with it for content. Or if I will even do like a regular Twitter versus afterwards, which would be, you know, the Twitter reactions to all of this, because these are just the statements. They're not the Twitter reactions, right? So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna continue on here. I just needed a bit of a break. I'm sure you guys understand. But you could cut this down into 30 to 40 minutes of the most important cringe comical bits. There'll be a ton of cuts, but it's doable. I think it might be doable. It would take like a lot of time to do though, but it'll be a fun little project for me to do on the side. I always like editing stuff down and compiling things. That's why I have those like 5-hour long videos on like, you know, John Swan versus Dream or H3 versus Keem. But it might be delayed. Like, I'm not gonna rush out any of these videos. And I'll probably, like, if something else comes up, like an important drama comes up, I'll prioritize making that Twitter versus, and then I'll come back to this. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Are you more of an indica or a sativa guy? I like indica better. It makes me like think more, I think. I don't know. I get a huge fucking ego when I'm high or drunk though. Not in the way of Arcadium, but I'm just like, I'm the best. Like, I'm just silly. I'm a silly, goofy guy. That's kind of my personality. Very jovial, silly. Maybe it doesn't come across when I'm like reading tweets, but you know, that's a bit of a different setting. I show my funny side more on like streams with Augie RFC or Nicholas Diorio or on my Boblex Beta channel. There's stream clips of me and my friends on a channel called Commentary AIDS. So if you guys want to like listen to some of those, I think they're definitely worth watching. But for now, let's get back to the allegations. Goofball, yeah. Commentary AIDS clips are so good. I agree. He does a really good job. Okay. I hate that I have to write this. but I think a lot of people will want to hear from me on the matter. I've been friends with Arcadum since before the beginning of his rise on Twitch, and done what I can to help him along his way. I've played in more of his games than anyone else, and he is grateful for all that I've done to help him achieve success. I'm somewhat torn between being there to support him and making sure he can make it through this okay, but also being far too familiar with the behavior several other Twitlongers have described. Supporting him feels like becoming part of his statistical analysis on how many people he can keep close solely for his own preservation. When something dramatic happens in Arcadum's life, he would occasionally speak to me for advice or emotional support, not unlike how others have described this situation, but with the twist that I'm not a woman. I was, however, aware that I was not the only person he'd go to for emotional support when he needed it. It seemed like he would make the rounds, go one by one, go through people he knew he could talk to, and have the same conversations with all of them in order to collect enough pity to momentarily feel better. I knew many of these people seemed to be women. Something I was naive enough to infer was because women may have just been easier and more receptive to talk about these problems with. So now I'm left with what was actually said and done when talking to those other people. I'm shocked to see how these similar conversations have a darker lining when they were had with women he attracted to and financially supporting. I'm shocked to see how these similar conversations have a darker lighting when they were had with women he was attracted to and financially supporting. I think it is very brave of them to speak up, because I now fully understand how hard that can be. I know how hard he can be to comfort. I have tried at times to have very simple conversations with him that comfort some of his unrelated behavior, which he immediately amps up to 100% pity, to the point where it is not worth engaging with any further. I only brought up how his reactions while DMing a D&D a game can cause a player to stop asking questions or encourage them to not bring up things that they cared about, because he would be incredulous at the idea that the player is accusing him of forgetting something, which often was the case, and players brought up less and less because of said interactions. He went to 100%. He said he should stop running games and deserves nothing due to the slip-up. He capped it off with a group of messages that are quite poetic to the situation with hindsight. Holy shit. My throat is fucking burning. Like, my job is to read Twitlongers and tweets, and I think I've gotten better at it over the years. But holy shit. Drink hot tea? Maybe. I'm like drinking water right now. Water breaks are fine, I don't blame you. Yeah, thank you guys for being understanding. I want to continue the stream tonight, but like, I'm having trouble talking, so I don't know if I should make a part 4 stream, because there is still quite a bit to go through, and I don't want to like do this whole thing in disservice by like not being in the proper state to speak. Is he drinking water? No, I'm drinking water from a water bottle. Fuck. I really want to finish this today, though. I could do a part 4, like, in a couple hours. More allegations in this response should be out tomorrow. Okay, I will read the rest of Sears Twitlonger, or Steers Twitlonger. Or, okay, should I read the rest of Steers Twitlonger or reread it for part 4? Because it might be, I don't feel like I read that very well. Like, maybe I should reread it for part 4. Reread it, take a break. Alright, I will probably be back in a couple hours for part 4. Because I do want to finish this tonight. So we might do a later night stream. For now, I want to thank you guys all for watching. I want to thank you guys for the donations. We got $60 in donations total. I appreciate it. And we will continue this later tonight, so stay subscribed with notifications on. And don't miss the continuation of this, alright? See you guys later.